Tarp was just on the field for just a couple of moments. Was that about a 5-minute rain delay? No big deal. Sun is out. Pablo Lopez getting himself ready to go to face the Brewers for the first time since last year. Pat Murphy and the Brewers 5 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals. Got off to a great start on the road this year. They've cooled off a bit, but still a game above 500 on their road record. Take a look at the starting lineup. It's brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Got the lefties back in there with Terang, Contreras, Yelich at the top. Willie Adames coming off a massive homestand. A couple of homers and 9 RBIs on the set. Frelick, Hoskins, Mitchell, Joey Ortiz, and Jackson Churio round out the starting 9 for Pat Murphy. This is Pablo Lopez. He's been scuffling in his last 10 starts or so, Tim.
Yeah, the 28-year-old Venezuelan. I mean, he was an all-star last season. And he broke in 2018. 19 starts this season, 8 quality starts. But, I mean, yeah, he's one of the guys that's been around that big trade to get him from Miami to here. The big reason is because they want him to be an ace. And right now, he is not giving away any free passes. But, yes, last time out, 5 innings, did give up a couple of runs, 90 pitches. But the big thing, he's had 10 days off. 10 days off, and then whatever that rain delay was, another 6 or 7 minutes.
Every minute counts. How about the defense behind him? It's brought to you by Landmark Credit Union.
Out in left field, you got Matt Wallner, Byron Buxton in center, Max Kepler. Out in right field, Brooks Lee at third base, Willie Castro taking over shortstop for the injured Christian Correa. And then you got Carlos Correa, and then you got Edwin Julien, fresh up from St. Paul Saints. Carlos Santana at first, and then Ryan Jeffers behind the plate.
Home plate umpire today, Charlie Ramos. Sean Barber is over at first. Ryan Blakeney is at second base, and Jim Wolf is crew chief over at third. Charlie Ramos looking for a fresh rosin bag. He's over in the Twins dugout. Not just one, I need maybe another rosin bag. I don't think I like the one that just came out of the plastic wrapping.
Rosin bagger, garden hosing. That's what happens though. Get a little precipitation on there, it's gonna clam up.
We don't need that. We need everything firing on all cylinders as we get ready to go. Swap out the rosin bag. Twins in their City Connect uniforms on this Saturday to open up the second half of the season. 55 wins for the Brewers in the first half, 54 for Minnesota. The only difference, the Brewers up 5 games in their division. The Twins are chasing 5 against Cleveland. All right, we're ready to go after a brief delay. First pitch to Bryce Terang is a strike, and off we go in the second half. A 15-minute delay because of a pop-up shower in the neighborhood. Bryce Terang, I bet you enjoyed the break. Scuffling a hair going into the break, and a tough homestand was just 2 out of 20. Hitting just 188 in the month of July. Down to the count, ball and 2 strikes. There's that changeup from Lopez. That's his bread and butter against lefties.
I think one fault of Lopez is maybe throwing too many strikes. Because you see the Rolodex here of pitches that he can throw, and all of these strike percentages are high. He's actually been getting into trouble having 2 strike counts and then giving up hits.
Terang fouls it away. As you know, the Brewers have been one of the best teams hitting with 2 strikes over the course of this season. Also one of the best 2-out run producing teams in baseball. Number 1, as a matter of fact. Terang trying to set the table. And lays off that changeup. You saw the 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Lopez. You're right, he's 10 days off has served him well.
Yeah, that's about where he's topped out all season long, and here he is doing it in the first inning.
You see the numbers there for Lopez, a .620 ERA. It's the second highest in the big leagues. Terang with a long sequence against Lopez.
Well, I know sometimes ERA doesn't tell the entire story. If you go to expected ERA for his entire season, he'd be in the 3s. But then again, I have a whole bunch of things on my minor league baseball cards that probably what's the expected ERA. Sometimes you're just going to run into bad luck.
Swing and a miss. There's the sweeper. That's the pitch that has mystified Lopez over his last few outings. Threw a good one to Terang.
It's his 32nd strikeout on that pitch. But here's the thing, the Brewers are really good about trying to work themselves into walks, and they have a guy on the mound that's going to do everything in his power not to walk. Taking a lot of pride. Really, this entire Twins staff pitching directly to contact. They're not trying to walk anybody.
And William Contreras, fresh off of his all-star appearance, started, had the honor of catching Paul Skeens in that first inning. Went 0 for 2 in that all-star game. And looking to bounce back after what has been a rough 6-week patch since the beginning of June rolled in.
Well, his last 8 games, just 4 for 28. But he's been doing a lot of work in there almost every single day. But this is the time when guys that are proven step up. It's the second half. Now it's maybe the marathon turns into a little bit, it gets more intense maybe for some of the older players, or at least more veteran players.
And wave and a miss. There's the sweeper again. Back-to-back Ks for Lopez.
Getting ahead with some fastballs, 4-seam sinker, and here's another sweep as the rain comes down.
Just a passing shower. Came down pretty good there for a moment, which forced the grounds crew to put the tarp on. Christian Yelich. Monster first half of the season, looking to keep it rolling.
One of the guys that really didn't want to break. Of course, he didn't get one going to the All-Star game. Had a few days there.
Quick jaunt down to Texas. Start of the game, went 0 for 2. Leads the National League in batting average. Just able to qualify right before the break. Grounds one to the left side. Brooks Lee's got it to 1-2-3 inning for Pablo Lopez. Freddie Peralta gets his first taste of the second half when we return to the Twin Cities. Rocco Baldelli, year number 6 in Minnesota. Very good home record, much like the Brewers. His starting lineup brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. No Carlos Correa, put on the injured list before the game today. So you see Eddie Julian down on the number 9 spot. He's playing second base. Willie Castro makes the start at short in his stead at the top of the order. Max Kepler has been red hot in the middle of that Twins order. And our starting pitcher stats brought to you by Spectrum. We see Freddie Peralta, start number 20 on the season, Tim.
Yep, number 20 in 19 starts, has 7 quality starts. And I mean, starting the first game back from the All-Star break, he could get a chance to get 14 more starts. And that's what you want out of an ace, a guy that's able to make every one of those and to make them count. 16 of his 19 so far, he's gone 5+ innings. So maybe you don't get to see everything that's happened when you start looking at some of the ERA and some of the numbers. But for him, it's about getting early strikes and then putting hitters away.
Been a major issue for him, the foul balls. And this is a Twins team that made a major emphasis in the offseason on putting the ball in play and battling with 2 strikes. Set a franchise record last year with strikeouts, and they have decreased that almost in half. So expect them to battle, and for Freddie Peralta, it's the foul balls that have been a huge problem for him.
Well, a guy that doesn't give up a lot of ground balls, relies on strikeouts heavily and balls in the air. I mean, that means guys can foul him off a little bit easier. As we see one scorched off the ribbon board.
Pellets of rain coming down. A lot of Brewers fans in the crowd tonight, expecting a sellout. Tomorrow is the Hall of Fame day. Joe Mauer going into the Hall of Fame for the Twins, draft class of 2001. Hard to think about. 1-2 on Castro. Foul it away again, and here we go. Joe Mauer's Hall of Fame out there in left center field. Retired his number at Target Field last year. And a ground ball right at Adames on 2 hops. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, 4 going in this year's class. Adrian Beltre, one of the best to ever do it at third base. Todd Helton, very deserving. Joe Mauer, talked about him, basically the reason this ballpark was built. And then Jim Leyland, World Series champ in 1997 with the Marlins.
Happy for all those guys, especially Todd Helton.
Oh, yeah.
The Todd father. Glad he got in.
Always has to defend that Colorado stigma. I think Larry Walker had to deal with that too, even though he played a ton of years in Montreal and St. Louis afterwards.
Yeah, but how about trying to stay healthy at that altitude?
Right.
I mean, just you have to put together a 20-year career just to qualify. But good for Joe Mauer. Some of the best sideburns that's ever played the game.
We were talking about this before the game. Just how, as a catcher, how tough it is to put up the numbers that he did. I'm not sure there's going to be another catcher that's ever going to do that again. Now, Buster Posey had a fantastic career. He's more than likely going to be a Hall of Famer in Yadier Molina, but what Joe Mauer did, really hard to duplicate.
Well, Ricky Weeks was talking about him in the clubhouse earlier, and one thing he said is the highest compliment you can pay another player is consistency. He's like, bank on him. You could do that because he was consistently a good hitter. He would be on the field, and it's a very demanding position for him to do it as long as he did and put up those kind of numbers. So he's like, I couldn't think of it. He couldn't think of a specific story that he could bring up about Mauer. He said he was always there.
Best quality availability, right? Larnach takes off the outside corner. Good take. And Byron Buxton waiting on deck for Minnesota. Larnach, the DH for the Twins. And a fly ball to right off the end of the bat. 2 away for Byron Buxton. Congrats, by the way, to Joe Castiglione, who's going into the Hall of Fame. Red Sox broadcaster since the early 80s. Ford Frick Award winner, Joe Castiglione. A lot of folks from the Twin Cities making their way to Cooperstown this weekend. Here's Buxton, and he rolls the first one foul. Speaking of available, Byron Buxton has been available more often than not this year. That has not been the case over the course of his career. He battled knee injuries, all sorts of ailments. And that missed a hair low. Ball to strike on Buxton.
And just a threat, too. He's got a quick swing, and he's healthy and going to bat third in the lineup. He's going to have that pop. Just 9 homers, but when you look at what this Minnesota team does really well, it's doubles.
Last year, just 85 games for Buxton. 1-2. Check the swing, didn't go. He's only played over 100 games one time in his career, Byron Buxton. That was all the way back in 2017. Just missed. Boy, those corners are tight. 3-2. It's a 17-pitch inning for Freddie.
Well, that's what he averages all season long. 17 pitches. You can see why. It's balls just missing and foul balls.
Payoff. And he walked him. Laid off the changeup away. First base run of the ball game belongs to Minnesota. And now it's Brooks Lee. Pat Murphy talking about Brooks in his pregame conversation with the media. He played with his son Kai for a long time. The Twins are real high on Lee. Switch hitter batting from the left side, and he pops up the first one. Shallow center for Garrett Mitchell to retire the side. Freddie Peralta, one pitch out to get Brooks Lee. We head to the second of the Twin City.
There's a look at Brewers manager Pat Murphy in the dugout. Brewers and Twins underway and officially underway with the second half of the season. And Pat Murphy, there's a lot to like about what his club did. And he said the biggest thing that stands out, he said just the great people that we have in the room. He said when you challenge them, they do it, they respond. And he said in the first 97 games, we have been in every game except for a couple of them. And now the team did endure a tough stretch, guys. They lost 7 of 10 before the All-Star break. And he talked about the team playing with more freedom, getting back to the way that they played at the start of the season. But he said for him, that means playing hungry, being present. He said just not worrying about what's happening behind me, what's going to happen ahead of me, just staying present, competing, staying hungry. He said we certainly have the mentality and the ability to do that. That's what set them up for a great first half.
Thanks so much, Sophia. What was the over-under on how many times Pat Murphy said hungry in that press conference, by the way?
I was getting hungry.
It was a couple times. Maybe
Yeah.
Murph was hungry.
I think he was. He was ready
Yeah,
for a snack.
He was ready. He's ready for the next 65 games.
It's feeding time. Thanks so much, Sophia. Sal Frelick is at the plate. By the way, Sophia, if you're still with us, how was the All-Star break?
The All-Star break was great.
Good.
We loved having an extra day for the break. I think everyone's refreshed, ready to go. Ready for the last haul here.
That's right. The home stretch. Ball and a strike on Sal Frelick. Starting to find his swing. There's a high strike on Sal. Took him a while, but just the comfort has finally found the swing for Frelick.
Batting .317 his last 40 games. I think it's the on-base percentage, though, .381. He's just a tough out. Like, if I'm standing on the mound, I'm looking at a guy that has long at-bats, willing to go opposite field when the infield is shifted. If you make a mistake, there's the power. And then if he gets on base, he's a threat.
Just a frustrating guy to pitch to, I can imagine.
I'm sure he's a good dude, you know, off the field.
One of the best. But a grinder at the plate.
Yep.
Lines one down the left field line. Foul. Just foul. Those are the things he's been doing, though. Take two, go to left.
Well, I think, you know, we have a scouting report, just like everybody has a scouting report. And this guy's going to be around the plate. That's what he does. That's Pablo Lopez to a T. Not real big misses. If you have to go out of the zone to hit something, do it.
Able to take down and in with that sweeper. A big part of the Brewers' game plan for the first few months of the season has been running, being very aggressive on the base paths. That will not change for the final 2 months of the season. And today, if you can get some guys on against Pablo Lopez, you can run on Jeffers behind the plate. Key is getting guys on. That one is low. Jeffers thought it was strike three.
There's been some close pitches not called strikes so far in the game. This last pitch here by the computer overlords. That ball looked like a strike, but you know what? Can't really trust the computers lately.
Rolls another one foul. I mean, yesterday, computers all around the world had a bit of an issue.
Skynet, careful. Careful, they can hear you, Jeff.
Made air travel quite complicated for some. That's wide, and Frelick works the walk. So the Brewers have their first base runner. And here's Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins scuffling in the month of July. His hits have been homers. He's got 14 home runs on the season. His second most on the club. He has had great success against Pablo Lopez. I saw him a ton as a member of the Phillies when Lopez was a Marlin.
Liked what he saw, too. 6 for 11. A couple of dingers. Still thinking about that walk to Frelick, though. He earned that sucker. I mean, probably got some gracious call at the bottom of the zone, but that's just the 9th walk that Lopez has issued to a left-handed batter. That's how good he's been against lefties.
Good lead for Frelick over at first. 2-0 to Hoskins. With sweeper for a strike. Those are the career numbers there for Hoskins against Lopez. 5 of his 6 career hits have been extra base hits. Got under it to center. 2 away in the second inning. Garrett Mitchell comes to the plate. This was Sunday before the All-Star break. His first home run since April of last year. Home run number 1 on our Wisconsin Lottery Powerball home run counter. Good to get his bat going.
Playing pepper with the center field wall. This is just his 11th ball game after coming off the IL.
Runner goes, it's up and in. Throw down to second, and they got him. A tag up around the legs. Call was out on the field. We'll see if the Brewers challenge. Pat Murphy will not challenge. Good throw by Jeffers. Better tag by Willie Castro. Caught stealing ends the top of the second for the Brewers offense. No score, bottom half of inning number 2. Getting ready to go with Max Kepler to lead it off. Kepler takes strike 1, 4-seam fastball, 92 out of the gate there for Peralta to start the second inning.
There were some 91s last inning. I think he's just trying to get his bearings, settle in a little bit. He's thrown a couple of good changeups at the bottom of the zone. I know he missed with the one at Buxton, got the walk on, but looks like there's a real emphasis on that changeup. He can almost looks like he's slowing down his arm a little bit. Kepler didn't get a good look at that one, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Only 2 right-handed hitters in the lineup today. That changeup is such a big pitch for him to lefties. He's only thrown 1 slider so far. You see the season arsenal for Freddie, and that changeup usage just continues to ratchet up.
Well, you've seen the curveball usage go down this season. Of course, the 4-seam usage is going to be there, and it's gone up. But when you have 4 pitches and sometimes they're kind of working and you like to use one after the other, it kind of gets watered down at times, and sometimes pick 2 pitches and run with it. That's kind of what this looks like. 4-seam fastball and changeup.
Last time out against the Nationals, Freddie Peralta did not have a single swing and miss on his slider. He's only got 1 whiff today. It was on a changeup.
That could be the game plan, to try to kind of get him back to pitch into contact. You have to feel comfortable pitching to contact.
It's low. That was with the curveball.
When you have a guy that's top 5 in strikeout percentage, a guy that just easily can strike people out kind of when he wants to, but yet the pitch count goes through the roof, you got to get back to being comfortable letting the ball be put in play.
Kepler fouls it back just to our left. So last start against the Washington Nationals, 10 hits, a season high that he matched. Swing and a miss. Got a whiff on 95. First K for Freddie. Inning ended last top half on a caught stealing. Let's go inside the play. It's brought to you by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin, Tim.
Well, you knew that legs were going to be a big deal in this series and moving forward, but Lopez had only had 6 stolen bases allowed, but 0 caught stealing. That was the first one. I wonder if the rain had something to do with it. Maybe it's a little bit wet. You can still see the skid marks from the slide. But I don't think that's going to deter the Brewers at all from trying to take an extra base.
Swing and a miss by Jeffers. 14 homers for Jeffers. Wouldn't you know, Sal Frelick's uniform is dirty. It's always dirty. Is there ever a game that he plays that he doesn't get dirty? Slider's working well on Jeffers. Look at that. Caked on. It's a great project for Jason Schauger in the clubhouse after the ball game, getting all of the cake off of the uniform. Well, the velocity's back for Freddie. It's just getting the feel.
I will say this, though. He looks very calm out there. He doesn't look super pumped up where he's flying every single direction. He looks very calm, in sync. Clearly there's time to reflect. We heard Pat Murphy reflecting on his first half of his season. First year at Brewers manager. Well, this is what players do. You reflect on your first half, and especially if you're a starting pitcher, you're going to reflect on what I did well, what I didn't do well, what do I need to work on.
To third, Ortiz on 2 hops. Throws out Jeffers. Let's go downstairs, check in with Sophia, who's got more on Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, Freddie Peralta, when he spoke about his first half, he said, look, I know that I can do a lot better. He got off to a great start. His first 4, 1.9 earned run average. And then over the last 15, a 4.76 ERA. But when we spoke to him his final start before the break, he said, I'm healthy. That's most important. He said that's the principal goal of every starter, to make the 19 starts that he did. And he also pointed to last season. He said, last year, I put together a great second half. I know I'm capable of it. I just have to clear my mind, move forward. And he said, you know, he's learning from that experience last year. So last year in the second half, it was 13 starts for him, a 281 earned run average, and he held opponents to a 184 batting average. So certainly, guys, he's coming off of a career year where he made 30 starts. He knows what the roadmap looks like to be as durable and reliable as what he has been.
We talked about this coming on the air today. He's ahead 0-2 on Santana. Misses low with the change. But what he put together in the last 2 months of the season gave this team confidence to say, you're going to be our opening day guy, to have the confidence to say, this is what we're doing moving forward, being an ace.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, it was spectacular. Now, can he replicate that? Who knows? Can't say that he can't, but at the same time, it's about he's been there, done that. He knows what he's capable of. And like Sophia said, the best part is health. Because, I mean, if he's healthy, then the sky's the limit.
He's had great second halves over the course of his career. 1-2 to Santana, and he got out front, yanked one foul.
Shocker, Carlos Santana pulling a ball. Got to see some of that last year.
It's been a big pickup for the Twins. I don't think the Twins realized how good of a defender he was. I mean, he finished a finalist in the Gold Glove last year, but a lot of people around here didn't realize how good he really was at first base.
I think there was even some people disappointed that he didn't stay at the time.
Wave and a miss. Good breaking ball from Peralta. He puts up a 0, gets a couple of Ks. Off and running on our way to the third in the Twin Cities.
Bring the summer vibes to American Family Field for Yacht Rock Night at the Brewers game July 26th, presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank. Grab a special ticket to get a Brewers captain hat with your seats at brewers.com/theme nights.
Garrett Mitchell is at the plate. He squares to bunt, fouls it away. Sal Frelick got caught stealing, and Mitchell was at the dish. The second look at Pablo Lopez. Have you tried on the Yacht Rock hat, by the way?
I haven't seen one. I just got the image viewer the other day at American Family Field. I've
click through it.
Click, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Some of your favorite 3D images in Brewers franchise history. There's a low strike on Mitchell, and it's 0-2. I did try on one of the captain's hats. Doesn't fit my head right. It's just not my...
One size fits some?
Yeah, not this reporter. Good take from Mitchell, make it 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Got a feeling we'll be wearing those on air at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, next weekend.
Yeah. I guess I meant during the telecast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's appropriate that it's when the Marlins are in town, too. Sea captains catching Marlin. Mitchell, that's a fair ball. Garrett Mitchell digging for 2. He's going to be in there with a leadoff double. Just tucked it inside the bag.
Maybe that's the benefit of seeing twice, last inning and then this inning. Fastball, middle, squeaks it down the line. And honestly, if Max Kepler doesn't come up with this ball cleanly, that's an easy triple, possibly a home run. He's able to backhand it right on the grass dirt line.
Got a fortunate bounce right there on the pie wedge. That thing goes all the way into the corner. You're looking easy 3 standing for Garrett Mitchell. Take the double for Joey Ortiz. 2 out of 11 on that last homestand for Ortiz. They're dealing with that neck issue. And line drive. It's going to be scooped up by the second baseman. Mitchell couldn't advance. Great play by Julian. Froze to make sure it wasn't going to be caught on the fly. Good base running move by Mitchell.
Great snag by Julian. I mean, that ball was hit hard. Ortiz, he does have a big emphasis to the right side, especially on heaters, and that's a great snag. I think Mitchell just wanted to make sure he didn't spin around and just go to third, and then suddenly you got a guy hung out to dry and only a man on first and nobody in scoring position. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Churio right side, base hit. Mitchell sent around third. He will try and score. It's cut off. 1-0 Brewers. Jackson Churio picks up right where he left off.
He's feeling hot. I mean, coming off a first pitch, Joey Ortiz pitch. Here's a first pitch, Churio. Fastball in. Lopez does that a ton. Inside outs it. Gets it past Santana. We already talked about how good his glove is. Garrett Mitchell scoring. No chance to get him at home, even from a strong throw that was cut off.
Terang takes a sweeper in. Jackson Churio with that emphasis going the other way. Center field, right field. That approach has served him well the last 6 weeks.
Able to pick up his 36 RBI. And what that makes Mitchell's base running that much more impactful, because if he gets thrown out at third right there, if the offset chance Julian goes to third, nobody scores on that. And who knows, maybe with Santana holding the runner at first, that could have been a double play.
Sure. 2-0 on Bryce Terang. Lines it foul just above the Brewers dugout. Some chance of let's go Brewers. Twins fans quickly shutting it down, or trying to at least.
This place came alive real quick.
Toss to first, and Quentin Berry's asking for a balk. pretty adamant about it. That's one of those things where if Quentin Berry sees something with a balk move, he'll let the umpires know ahead of time. Felt like that was a balk. Squaring to bunt. It's foul. It's 2-2 on Bryce Turang.
Well, we see Q down there all the time, and for him to speak up means he's saw something.
He's still grinding over that.
Well, Lopez doesn't have a balk on the season, but Q Berry studies film. He knows what he's looking for.
Turang, right center. Well struck. Back Buxton and caught at the wall. He was stuck in that like a lion. Pretty nice play. I don't think Turang got it all, but Buxton made a nice play in the gap.
It was hard to tell how he was going after it. It looked like kind of a jog, but it was a smooth run, slows down. He's been out there so much, he knows the lay of the land. Knows that warning track and where it is.
Kind of laying in the weeds there for a moment until he was ready to pounce, knew it was going to come down.
How about Churio? He was kind of holding up, and then he even thought it was going to be down. Round second, correctly tags it again.
Gives Contreras another opportunity. For Turang, just missed it. 98 miles an hour off the bat, exit velocity. On the ground to third, foul. Tough to get it out of this ballpark to deep right center field. Got to get over that big wall.
Got to tell Turang to try to hit it somewhere else. Yeah, that ball with a lot of hang time. Buxton turns on the jets, able to get all the way back there.
Runner goes, throw to second base. Churio's in there. Got a good jump.
It's number 11 for 11. Yeah, you could tell just because Freeland got caught stealing back in that second inning doesn't mean they were going to stop and let up. This is part of their game. It's about putting pressure on the pitcher. We saw the stolen bases. We saw Turang bunt a ball foul and then scorch one in the gap.
A hanger to Contreras. He let it go. 2-2. Go. Similar to pitch that he struck out on back in the first inning. Back-to-back Ks to open up the outing for Pablo Lopez. None since. Trying to advance the inning to Yelich, who's on deck. Swing and a miss. Threw him a changeup, and he's got Contreras for a second time. Brewers get one. They're on the board first.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Valley Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Habish and Rotier, personal injury attorneys, national reputation, hometown service. And by Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Back in the Twin Cities. Freddie Peralta back at it. First pitch to Matt Wallner. Cut on and missed. Wallner, Julian, and then Castro. 8, 9, and 1. Good changeup. 0-2 on Wallner. This is a big Twins team, Tim. You look up and down this roster, and you are literally looking up at most people.
Not so much me, Jeff.
I'm very small, but
no,
you
I'm
are not.
kidding. There are, I mean, you look at their pitching staff alone. I mean, the average height is probably 6'4". And then you start looking in the dugout, you got Buxton, Wallner, Jeffers. I mean, some of these guys are giants. I don't know if there's a stat out there for tallest team, but this is probably the tallest team I've seen across baseball.
The shortest guy in their pitching staff is Caleb Thielbar at 6 feet even. Got a bunch of guys at 6'2". Bailey Olber's 6'9". I mean, it looks like a basketball team more than anything else. The Brewers got a couple of 6'8" guys in their bullpen. Brian Hudson and Trevor McGill.
Yeah.
Wallner called third strike. See ya. Third K for Freddie Peralta.
That right there on the four-seam fastball, just 92. I think he's willing to sacrifice a little bit of velo to hit a spot. Exactly what that was. Also, the strike zone's bigger when you're taller too.
Talk to umpires. It's harder for them to call balls and strikes on the taller hitters. This one lined to center field. It's a base hit for Julian. First hit of the game for the Twins. First game back in the big league since June for Eddie Julian.
Well, the AAA team is in Toledo. I doubt he went. I think they kind of knew that Carlos Correa was going to have to spend some time on the IL and waste no time. Ambushes a first pitch fastball up in the zone.
Willie Castro's second at bat. Ground ball to short his first time. Peralta could use another one of those right now. Instead delivers ball one. That's back to the backstop. Contreras thought about it, but no. Wild pitch. It advances Julian to second.
That's Peralta's 5th wild pitch on the season. There's been times where he's actually been effectively wild. This kind of backfires a little bit. Maybe just too much movement. For whatever reason, Contreras was still trying to catch it and pull it up into the strike zone.
Fouled back by Castro, 95. Something to keep your eye on, though. You saw how that ball ricocheted off the sandstone behind home plate. The ball gets behind the catcher near third base. You better get a really good read. There's not a lot of space. It's going to be jumping back to the plate.
And pitchers need to duck as well, because you'll be sitting there like, oh man, I missed my spot, and then you look up and the catcher already has it, whipping it down to second.
He went around for strike two. Swing mode here, Tim?
A little bit. Saw the fastball up. He tried to do what Julian did. He had bat before. Castro taking a timeout. Tipped his cap last inning. He announced him as his first time being an all-star, and it's going to be a fun moment being here at home.
Didn't take the bait on that high fastball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He certainly earned it, Willie Castro. He's had a fine season. And doing it at a number of different positions. Now playing it short. While Correa's out. Got him. 96 off the plate away. 4 Ks for Freddie Peralta.
I think he's seeing the strike zone in 4K too. He's really hitting some spots, and he's doing it on purpose. I think he's just cool and calm and relaxed right now, collecting strikeouts. You can see him amp up when he needs to. I think he's confusing hitters with 91-92 early in the counts.
Trevor Larnach fouls it away, and there's 95 center cut. Strike 3 to Castro. The ball was jumping out of his hand, had some late life to it. Not the standard four-seamer. Felt like it had some extra ride. An extension from Freddie Peralta.
Extension's actually been a little bit down this season. I think sometimes when you're searching for, I need to be more in the zone, I think what comes with that is you can try to aim it too much. I think he's on the perfect blend right now. He's aggressive. He's relaxed. His shoulders are not up by his ears. He's able to have freedom in the zone.
You mentioned it earlier today, Tim, that there are times where Freddie can get jumpy out there on the mound with his mechanics, heads bouncing around, shoulders, legs. Even in the stretch, his legs are doing different things. But his body language tonight it's as smooth as we've seen in a while.
Well, I usually see him flying off towards first base, spinning around, jumping. And we'll probably see some of that tomorrow with Joe Ryan from the Twins. But for Freddie, he's really taking it easy.
Throw to second base, and safe is the call. Good pick by Willie Adames on a throw that had some cut from Contreras. If he lets this one fly early, they may have an out on Julian.
Well, Julian does right. He's got his secondary lead, sees the ball in the dirt, but Contreras comes up with it. Contreras, I mean, probably didn't see too much space, but I think he knew it was wet enough. There was a little bit of slippage in there.
Two away on Larnach. In the dirt, blocked more traditionally by Contreras that time.
A lot of dirt balls coming out of the hand of Peralta here.
'18th pitch of the inning coming up for Freddie. Pretty consistent in the pitch counts. And he walked him, so Buxton will get an opportunity to hit with 2 outs and 2 men on. Before Buxton hits, quick message from Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit to the mound by Peralta and Contreras. Willie Adames joins into the conversation to slow things down before this sequence with Buxton. Drew a walk back in the first. And Willie Adames is chatting with the Twins dugout more than chatting with his teammates.
Well, for Freddie and his splits, lefties and righties, not much of a difference. So it won't really matter. Got the righty and the lefty with lead on deck. I think it's about calming things down. Something happened in the last at batter and a half where you just got a little bit more erratic. I think it was after the 0-2 pitch to Wallner that missed really big.
And that one's in the dirt. That slider is skipping almost in the grass the last couple that he has thrown. This is an area for Freddie where he's struggled though this year with runners in scoring position. Opponents hitting almost 300 against him.
Yeah, 291. Maybe trying to be too quick with runners on. No reason to do that, but have to make a pitch. And the tough part is once they've eliminated your slider, you still feel like you have to throw it.
So slider in the dirt, now fastball high, and it's 2-0 on Buxton. Not the place you want to be count-wise with men in scoring position. Good pitch, took it though. It's 3-0.
Not sure if Buxton's a big 3-0 swinger or not, but I'd be super careful to give him anything reachable.
And he got away with one. Shallow center for Garrett Mitchell. A 3-0 hack and a fly ball to shallow center gets Peralta out of the third. Well, July 25th, that's coming up at the Pabst Theater. Join Bally Sports for Christian Yelich's home plate charity concert featuring Scotty McCreery, Charlie Behrens, and so much more. Tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/Yelich. Speaking of Christian Yelich, here he is. Leads things off and takes low for ball one. That's going to be a great event.
Charlie Behrens is going to be there. I saw him the other day at American Family Field.
Yeah.
He was incognito.
So how'd you see him if he was incognito?
I was looking for incognito.
Ah. It's impressive work out of you, Detective Tim.
Yeah, I was down the third base side. I was talking to some of the security guys there at taking tickets or whatever, or scanning tickets, and started talking to the beer guys. They let me serve a beer. I gave away one for free and then randomly looked up and saw Charlie Behrens walking by.
Line drive left field and going to be caught. Wallner lost that one. It felt like in the lights and able to make the catch. Take a base hit away from Christian Yelich.
I think he got caught in between a little bit. And then do I go for it or do I slide? And I think he was like, I'll just catch it and slide and hope nobody makes fun of me. That's a tough play from a left-hander. When he hits a ball like that, you can't really gauge the speed on it and how long it's going to stay up.
Adames takes a strike. Willie looking for his first career hit against Pablo Lopez. He's 0 for 15 lifetime. And he's in an 0-2 hole. Back to the backstop on a pitch that was not that bad of a pitch.
One thing Lopez does really well is he keeps hitters guessing because he'll go to any pitch at any count. When you're seeing this many changeup righty on righty, you know that he's able to throw anything at any time, and he's proven that.
Comes back, changeup down and in. Jeffers.
I think we're waiting just like Willy Adames is. Is he going to go to that sweeper or not? His first two pitches of the in his first at bat, the only two pitches he saw were fastballs. So now you fast forward here, still no sweepers to Willy Adames in the game from Lopez.
Popped it up, foul territory, and in the seats. That gentleman got hit right in the shoulder. It's all right. Gamer. Three and two, good battle between Adames and Lopez.
Again, Lopez doesn't walk a bunch of people. He walked Sal Frelick in his last at bat. Willy Adames has seen 47 walks this season.
And line drive to right, a base hit. Great at bat. Finished with a knock for Adames, his first ever against Lopez. And don't think he doesn't know about that.
Now 1 for 16 with 9 Ks. You better believe that feels good. Great at bat, goes inside out on the fastball. Lopez, one of the top pitchers in baseball, if not the top, of throwing fastballs inside. Not afraid. Willy Adames did what Cheerio did a little bit, sees something in and hits it away.
Frelick drew a walk his first time up. Dropped a curveball for a strike. Not many of those thrown tonight from Pablo Lopez. Almost hit his back foot. Ball and a strike. I'm a big fan, by the way, as we keep seeing a shot of Jeffers' catcher's mask. That
cool.
is a sweet catcher's mask. The City Connect with the sunset. That's awesome. It's fouled away.
Kind of in keeping with their theme night when it comes to the logo on their hat. It's in 3 sections. The northern lights, the middle part being the sky, and then the bottom part being the lakes. At least what it says on the pamphlet that they handed me.
Just reading word for word. Line drive caught, but Adames able to get back to first base. Good play by Santana. Took an extra base hit away from Sal Frelick, but Adames a better play getting back. Really good ABs against Lopez second time through.
Yeah, here's a sweeper. Everything breaking in that at bat. I mean, got the head out, pulls it. Santana's so good. He's probably kicked himself a little bit, because if you'd have just went with where the ball was taking him, he probably could have just slapped Adames in the arm.
Hoskins ground ball to short. So the easy way to second base and end the inning. Base hit is all, and left. 3.5 innings complete. 1-0 Milwaukee. Toyota game reset. The only run of the ball game, a Jackson Churio RBI single in the third. Freddie Peralta's given up just one hit with 4 Ks, but he's thrown 62 pitches in the first 3 innings of this ball game. Middle of the order coming up for Minnesota. Brooks Lee, the first man to face Freddie Peralta, got out of a first and second jam against Byron Buxton last inning. Taking a cut at a 3-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. First round pick, Brooks Lee, number 8 overall back in 2022 out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. The Mustangs.
I think he was supposed to go to the Futures game, but instead was called up before that. So when the Futures game was going on, he was actually playing a baseball game in the big league. So pretty good trade-off.
Yeah, I think most people would pass on the opportunity to play in the Futures game if they were already up in the big leagues, right?
Yeah. Hey, you want to be in the future or you want to be in the big leagues?
Two, struck him out, dropped the slider on him. 5 Ks for Freddie Peralta.
Back on track. Here's a slider at the bottom of the zone. Nasty little bite there at the end.
Kepler takes strike 1 with a changeup. Kepler struck out in the second inning, 1 of 2 Ks that frame. Feels like he's got the grip on that slider now, Tim, that release point at least. Bouncing it pretty consistently in the third.
Threw a couple of 58-footers. Sometimes that happens. You know, sometimes it's not a mechanical issue with your body as so much as just your hand placement. I think a lot of times when you're getting that much snap down, you're just on top of it a little too much. The 2 sliders that missed in this at bat, he missed glove side, means he kind of got around it a little bit.
.71 pitches so far for Peralta. A lot of long sequences. And that just missed. A couple of sliders on that inner part of the plate that he hasn't got the call. Those edges have been tight for Charlie Ramos. Payout to Kepler. Off the end of the bat, and it fooled Bryce Terang. Right off the cap for Kepler. We'll see how they rule it. Added some funky spin on it.
Definitely a strange one. 3-2 pitch, slider. I think he just got in between whether he's going, am I going forehand, am I going backhand, and then it just kind of eats him up. I think you have to take into account, as you see the scoring decision hit, I think they took into account the fact that it did come off funny.
And now Jeffers takes a strike on the inside corner. You don't see Bryce Terang have that much activity with his footwork on a particular ground ball.
I think of it more as like wasted footwork. I mean, he's so smooth. Great opportunity for Freddie Peralta to kind of figure it out again with a man on base. It's kind of where he struggled last inning.
A lot of activity with 1 away the last 2 frames. It's not a team that runs much. Jeffers sprays 1 foul on the right field line. Packed house at Target Field. Turned out to be a great night after a brief pop-up shower to cool everyone off. Good pitch, 1-2.
Rumor has it here at Target Field that the beer sales between Twins and Brewers in that series is the most than any other series.
No way.
The entire year.
Really? I wonder why that is. Riddle me that, bad man.
Well, Blake up here in the booth told me he knows some of the people that tap all the kegs.
1-2 and a high fly into shallow left. So you have an inside source for that information.
You think I was just going to guess that?
I mean, Brewers fans tend to have a good amount of beverages.
I know.
That's kind of where I thought you were going with it. And you and actual science of the keg tappers.
Yeah. Brewers fans turned out for this one.
Hi, guys. Good to be back. Just great to be in Minnesota today, I'm not going to lie.
Didn't think you were going to make it.
I didn't either. Got hairy there for a minute or two.
Levering showed up about 30 minutes before we were about to go on air.
That's untrue.
Couple hours.
It was 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was tight, but we got here. Change up, ball and a strike on Carlos Santana. The global blackout kind of knocked out some air travel, and some Brewers personnel had some major issues too. We had some people drive from Chicago yesterday and overnight. Some people drove from Detroit earlier today to get here because of some airline issues. I was in Los Angeles this morning, and here we are. Just glad the plane took off. Thank you to our pilots and our flight attendants. In the left, Jackson Churio puts it away. Freddie Peralta puts up another 0. 4 scoreless so far from Freddie P.
We're back at Target Field and want to remind you that BCF's 26th annual 5K, 10K Famous Racing Sausages Run Walk will be held a week from today, Saturday, July 27th at American Family Field. Participants will receive a t-shirt, ticket voucher, and more, and the money raised goes to support veterans and their families at Fisher House, Wisconsin, and the Zablocki VA Medical Center. So you can go to brewers.com/5K to get signed up.
Thank you so much, Sophie. It's the first time in a couple of years that the Brewers team has actually been in town when the 5K, 10K has been going on. We've been on the road the last couple of years that's taken place.
Yeah, once I saw that, I signed up.
Yeah? Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in for the 5K.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I couldn't do the math on the 10K, and it just sounded like a lot.
It's double the 5K.
That's what I was putting together, and I haven't been practicing for it. So if you want to come out and see me really, really struggle, do that. Sign up now.
Could be toasty. Are you going to be running in one of the racing sausages, or are you just running as a normal Tim?
Well, number one, it's run-walk.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean into the walk.
Okay.
There'll be some running in there, but I describe that as jogging.
It's a soft J.
Little jog.
Mitchell takes high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a fun path. It's a good run. You get inside the ballpark, and then you get a brat when you're all done. Brought in a beverage. So whatever you did during the run, it just cancels itself out as soon as you finish.
Yeah.
Mitchell jams one to short for out number 1. Joey Ortiz coming up. Hit a smash to second base that Eddie Julian made a nice play on.
Very slick play. Well, Garrett Mitchell, after that double leading off the third, I mean, that base running was the reason this game is 1-0.
Ortiz tried to lay one down, fouls it back.
Good take on that curveball. That's a very good spot. And for the most part, everything that Lopez has done has just been kind of that U. Outside, down, and then up and in. And he's just kind of lived there. Bottom of the zone, in and out. I mean, it's nothing at the very top. Nothing middle.
By Ortiz. We talk a lot about the Brewers pitchers, especially the ones that throw cutters, how they make X's, right? Or throw the crosses in the corners, how they want their cutters and their changeups doing different things, or two-seamers and cutters. Whereas for Lopez, he doesn't have that arsenal. Like you said, it's that U. Popped him up. Santana for out number 2. Jackson Churio coming up. He's driven in the only run of the ball game. Every Brewers RBI this season. Northwestern Mutual funding 5 hours of childhood cancer research. Just a really interesting pitching concept, right? With the crossers, and depending on what you throw, you wouldn't see what a lot of the cutter two-seamer guys like Colin Ray or Bryce Wilson do. You wouldn't see that with Freddie Peralta. It all depends on your arsenal and what you throw.
Well, in particular with Lopez, he hadn't thrown a sweeper to Adames in either at bats, and that's why I was bringing up the sweeper, because he kept throwing in and up, and then it was like, okay, well, off of that you would do that X. If you're going up and in, then you go the sweeper down and away, and that's what he did. The next 2 pitches were sweeper, and later on he tried to go back in, and that's when Adames hit the ball to right. But there is a lot of philosophies. What I see from Lopez tonight a lot is just throwing the pitch they least expect. He's been doing that almost, especially in any account that goes more than 3 pitches. He's really throwing something that is kind of off the wall, that you're not really falling into any patterns.
Churio got jammed out to center field. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for the Brewers offense. First time since the first inning.
Time to suit up this summer at MLBshop.com, featuring the largest collection of official Brewers t-shirts, hats, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Visit MLBshop.com to get your Brewers gear today.
Those Brewers fans were suited and booted, ready to go. Tons of Brewers fans crossing over the border for a couple of games this weekend. And then down to Chicago for a 3-game series. Then the Brewers don't see the Cubs again for the regular season. They'll be done with them. It's crazy.
Especially when you're still used to the days where they would play 19 games a season against each other. You felt like you couldn't get rid of them.
Times per year for your division. Now 13. Swing and a miss. Trying to contend, he foul tipped it. But to no avail. Strikeout number 6.
Putting him away with a changeup, nasty changeup, down and away. I think he's trying to say he nipped something.
He may have, but he caught it on the fly. It never hit the dirt.
No dirt.
There's a strike on Julian. To second base, Terang charges. And gets Julian. 2 quick outs. Boy, Freddie Peralta needs a fast inning if he wants to even sniff the 6th.
He's had a lot of rest. Why not? Why not run him back out there? He's gone over 100 pitches 7 times this season. I think it's something you feel out. You ask him, hey, what do you think?
Castro swings and misses. Boy, changeup has taken on a new life form in this inning. A couple of nasty ones.
Heard Devin Williams was coming back. Want to get his changeup ready.
Hey, Devin, look what I've been working on, man. Devin Williams pitching tonight. The Nashville Sounds. No, he's scheduled to pitch. Brewers had a number of players pitching for the Nashville Sounds. Jared Koenig threw yesterday. Joe Ross threw yesterday. Gary Sanchez played yesterday. 0-2 is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So she has the scoop on Devin Williams.
Well, Devin's rehab assignment, he's run into some tough luck with weather. He was supposed to pitch last Saturday with the Timber Rattlers. That got postponed. He pitched Sunday, a great inning for him, struck out the side. Was scheduled to pitch tonight with the Nashville Sounds. However, the Sounds have been postponed due to weather in Norfolk, so they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. So we'll have a Devin Williams update for you tomorrow.
Excellent. That's a good update. That it's just weather and nothing else. Here comes the sun in Norfolk, Virginia. Brewers will try and add on in the top of the 6th against Lopez. Only 5 hits in the game, 3 by the Brewers, a pair by the Twins. Turang takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Strikeout and a fly out for Turang.
How about we've seen some really good changeups from both of these starters tonight.
That is a low strike. That really hasn't been a strike for much of the day, but it's 0-2 on Turang. Going away. Swing and a miss. There's that changeup. 3 pitches and a strikeout. Let's go downstairs to Sophia again, who's got an update on the All-Star festivities from the 2 Brewers All-Stars.
Yeah, William Contreras and Christian Yelich both started the All-Star game Tuesday in Arlington. Both came back. Had a great experience. For William, he said it was a much calmer experience this time after going for the first time as a DH in 2022. He said he still had a lot of fun. A great moment for him, by the way, with former Brewer Corbin Burns, who started the game for the American League. William grounded out to him. They had a nice little, I don't know if it was a hug or a tackle, a block or a charge. You can decide. He and Corbin had some fun, but he said, I'll always compete against Corbin Burns. And then Christian talking to him, a 3rd-time All-Star to get the opportunity to start again. First time for him in 5 years that he was named an All-Star again. He said the coolest part is just hanging with the rest of the team, right? Getting to know some of the other players. He said 2 players that he had never met before that he was excited to spend some time with. Shohei Ohtani, who doesn't want to spend some time with Shohei, and then Shota Imanaga from the Cubs. He said those were 2 guys that he had never really met before and had a great time just getting to know them and the rest of the National League roster. So well done by those guys. They had a great time at the All-Star game.
I thought they put on a really good show down in Texas, and as the saying goes, everything's bigger in Texas. Contreras down to the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But the one thing that I've really liked over the last couple of years is that they really put on a show when they come to the ballpark to play in the game. They put on all the fancy threads, and you got the jackets, and William Contreras had the inside of his jacket all squared up. I mean, it was really cool getting a chance to see some of the guys' personalities with their style.
Walking down the red carpet, I think Shohei had like the lining of his jacket with his dogs,
yeah,
or his dog on there. That's something you don't see every day, but you see at the All-Star game.
Kind of taken after Tim Dillard's sport coat that he wears with his own logo on the inside.
Same thing, yeah. But also, like, they had stage coaches bringing people out. They had people doing the lasso, which I got to think was probably not a real lasso. It was probably, you know, one of those like magic ones that just kind of stays as a lasso. But either way, you're right. It was a great show. One of my favorite parts, honestly, was Big Papi when he was interviewing Bruce Bochy. Yeah. I thought that was cool. And then the first pitch, having Nolan Ryan and Fergie Jenkins come out and then give the ball to Adrian Beltre, I thought that was cool.
Nails.
Yep.
Well, you had an opportunity to be around Adrian Beltre, who's going into the Hall of Fame, right? During your Texas Rangers days.
My blink of an eye with the Rangers, yeah. I met him and I introduced myself, and he said, "Oh, I know who you are." And I was like, "Thanks, Adrian Beltre." I called him by his first and last name. I didn't know what else to do. I get nervous around really good baseball players, so either way, Adrian Beltre, he's awesome.
You didn't try and touch his head?
I didn't try to touch his head, no.
That's good.
I left him alone. I shook his hand. Actually, I did the bro hug with him. That was good.
Bro hug and Beltre.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's the name of my memoir. But I think
it's not Deep Thoughts with Dilly?
No, not. Okay. But to Sophia's point, talking about the guys, like you're competing against these guys all the time. You don't get a chance to get to know them, really, unless you're in the same clubhouse. Either you're on their team or in an all-star setting.
That's low, and a good AB here from William Contreras. 8 pitches. This will be number 9. Yelich is coming up. Now, Bruce Bochy, who has managed a number of different all-star teams because he's won 4 championships now. After he'd won his first one, I remember him talking about, you see the 3-2 to Contreras. And a ground ball to the right side. Long run. Good play. Julian. And he throws him out. Nice play.
Wow.
Good range. Second dazzler so far for the Twins' second baseman.
Gets a clap from his pitcher, too. You have to. I mean, that, I don't know what was more impressive. He was so far away from it. He cuts down the distance, but you still didn't think he was going to be able to lean down and get it. So what's he do? He goes to his knees, slides a little bit, spin. And you got to think the ball maybe even a little bit wet out there in the grass, and so kind of runs it arm side. Santana able to stretch and snag. You're right, a couple of good plays for a guy that just got called back up.
Yelich 0 for 2, takes ball 1. When Bruce Bochy managed for the first time in the All-Star game in 2011, after the Giants had won the World Series in 10, he had a chance to be around Hunter Pence for the first time. This is when the Astros were still in the American League.
Right.
And because of that interaction in the clubhouse when he was with the Phillies at the time, the Giants had traded for him from Philadelphia. It was because of that interaction in the All-Star game. So when you think about it as a manager or a coach, when you're having these conversations with players that you don't normally interact with and mingle with, you get a chance to see them face to face and what they're really like.
Yeah, you get to see all those kind of stories pop up here and there. And I mean, how about the due diligence when just looking at Matt Arnold last year, looking to make moves, he starts asking players about different guys, and he actually asked Christian Yelich about Mark Canha. Hey, what do you got on this guy?
Yeah.
Yelich was like, he's awesome, get him.
Yeah.
And we saw what he was able to do. So there's a lot of this stuff. You have to, talk. You get a perception of a type of player that is he going to fit with us, especially when you have a chance to be one of those decision makers.
Yelich hits one foul. Pat Murphy talks about that all the time. It's about fit. I understand there are some really great baseball players that are out there that we could go and get, but they need to be the right people too. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the first questions he was talking about Savali coming over. He goes, I think he's going to fit.
Yeah.
And you talk to him, just have one conversation, you understand why. Some guys just get it, and they know what kind of team they're on.
Yelich check swing, he went, and the inning's over. Brewers go 3 up and 3 down again, 8 in a row, set down by Pablo Lopez.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Valley Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, a new era of sports betting. And sponsored in part by Northwestern Mutual, the official financial planning partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
92 pitches and climbing for Freddie Peralta. Had just a 10-pitch fifth. So he gets the 6th at least to start. Activity begins in the Brewers bullpen. 2, 3, and 4 for Minnesota. 5 2-hit innings and shutout baseball for Freddie. There's Brian Hudson cranking it up.
One of the best middle relievers in all of baseball. I'd like to see him in the All-Star game.
Center field. Garrett Mitchell, one away. Byron Buxton. Big test of a 1-0 lead. Buxton had a 3-0 pitch to hit back in the third, popped it up with 2 men on base.
Hopefully he can get him out a little quicker. Maybe 1 or 2 pitches. Like we talked about, Freddie's no stranger to going over 100 pitches. He's gone as high as 111. That was against the Cubs.
And back on May 28th, covered 5 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts. That is tied for his season high. Buxton yanks that foul. Right by the camera pit down that left field line. Everybody's okay. It's authenticated. Quentin Berry. Yep, we're all good. Another foul ball. Pitch number 100 coming up for Freddie Peralta. Be the 8th time he's gone over 100 on the season. And he missed high. The velocity, however, for Freddie in this bottom of the 6th has hovered around that 89, 91.
I think he's just kind of nice and smooth, just trying to hit a spot maybe.
And he strikes out Buxton. Another K. That's number 8 for Freddie. 2 away, and now a brief word from Quick Trip.
Cool off your summer with a Coca-Cola Summer Cash Grab and Quick Trip. Play daily to enter to win up to $250,000. No purchase necessary. See quicktrip.com/sweepstakes for details.
Brooks Lee. Ground ball, second base. Wow, what an inning from Freddie Peralta. 6 scoreless in his first outing of the second half. Well done by Freddie P. 1-0 Brewers into the 7th. Seventh inning is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, and Freddie Peralta, 102 pitches, got through the last 2 innings on just 20 total. Fist bumps, high fives, however you want to greet him. Show him you love him. Great outing from Freddie.
It was smooth, man. He looked good. He looked cool and calm. When he needed the velocity was there. I think he sacrificed a little bit to make sure he hit some spots.
And line drive base hit to left for Willie Adames, leads off the top of the 7th inning. Snaps that stretch of 8 in a row set down by Pablo Lopez.
Well, Adames got his first hit against Lopez in the 4th inning. Decides, I like that. I'm going to do that again. It's a first pitch changeup.
Jorge Alcala is getting ready in the Twins pen. Frelick squares it. Good bunt to third. Going to get the out. It's going to be a sacrifice. To second goes Willie Adames. Good play by Brooks Lee to come in and get him. Smart play, because even if he lays it down perfectly, it's a base hit. In worst case, it's a sacrifice. Nice job by Sal.
How about Brooks Lee? I mean, he was playing a little bit in, but he fielded strong throw over. I mean, if he hesitates even a moment, that's a knock. But you're right. You can give Adames over to second. How about Hoskins' last 5 hits, all extra base hits?
Take a cheap little single right now and give the Brewers an extra run to play with for their bullpen.
Yeah, and I think too, Lopez has actually gotten some ground balls in this ball game. He doesn't usually get a lot, but if Hoskins hits a ball on the ground with a man on first, could be a double play. All around good moment for Frelick to recognize, hey, I'm just going to bunt this ball over here. Maybe it's a hit. Either way, I set the team up in a good spot.
Here's Hudson getting ready in the 7th inning. Fouled away. I think Hoskins wants it back. Wisconsin Lottery Powerball home run leaderboard has Adames at the top with 15. Rhys Hoskins at 14, one behind. And Yelich and Contreras each with 11. One and two on Rhys. Check swing. He went. Hoskins did not agree with that appeal from Sean Barber.
The sweeper down and away. And it looks here, maybe he did commit. I don't know. I think that's the initial reaction. You've seen way worse guys check a swing and not be called for it. I mean, I thought Yelich last inning too was barely took the bat off his shoulder and was called as well.
Leaves it up to Garrett Mitchell with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Mitchell with a double and a run scored. The only run that has come across in this game for either team. Open over 100 for Lopez. Commonplace. Fouled in and out of the glove of Jeffers. Last time Lopez went over 100, went 102 at Oakland June 23rd. This next pitch will be a season high for Lopez. It didn't miss by much. 2-1.
I mean, he's had 10 days off since his last start. I mean, if you can't have your season high in pitch count after that, when can you have it?
Swing and a foul. 2-2. It's the third time in this game the Brewers have had a man in scoring position. Twice in the 3rd inning. The Twins only once have had a man to second base. That was the 3rd. Good take. 3-2. Cole Sands joining Alcala. Three-two. Line foul. Felt like he took that right out of the glove of Jeffers.
I think Lopez is sniffing the finish line here for his day, and I think Mitchell's kind of recognizing it. Being very patient on close pitches. I mean, a couple of them were borderline, and it went the way of Mitchell. Now hanging tough with a couple of foul balls.
7th pitch of the at-bat. We'll see an 8th. Fastball, sweeper, changeup. That's been the combination for Lopez tonight.
I mean, how difficult as a hitter when you're seeing very well placed arsenal of this magnitude. This is what he's been doing all night.
And he struck him out. That hasn't been a strike all day. That knee-high strike. It is to finish the outing for Pablo Lopez. This 7th inning game summary is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. An RBI single in the 3rd by Jackson Churios. 6 scoreless innings from Freddie Peralta with 8 Ks. Just a couple of walks and 2 hits. How about we look at those 8 Ks? StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Fastball, sliders, curveballs, and changeups. A good mix from Freddie P.
Fastball, slider, changeup. Oh my. And I think it was the changeup he really leaned into that kind of set up maybe some of these other strikeouts as well. Out of the 22 changeups he threw, 17 were strikes, 5 were whiffs.
Brings in Brian Hudson out of the Brewers bullpen. First man he sees gets a ground ball to 3rd. Good play by Ortiz to come in and charge it. Our Gruber Law Offices, 1 call, that's all call to the pen. Brings in Brian Hudson, a remarkable first half tip.
Also brings in a sweeper that he just got 1 pitch out on. Batter's now hitting under .039 against it. But yes, he has a 1.49 ERA. It was a sub-1 right up until about 2 weeks ago. That's how good he was. Outstanding. Also mixes in the 4-seam and the cutter.
Scuffled a bit on that road trip to Colorado and LA. Gave up 3 homers over the span of 2 appearances against the Dodgers.
In his 33 games, though, he's gone 2 innings in 12 of those. That's impressive.
Quick 0-2 on Jeffers. I mean, the thing is where would the Brewers bullpen be without Brian Hudson?
He has saved a lot of games. Maybe not the back of the game. He comes in right smack dab in the middle, and he'll go through the heart of the order. Lefty, righty, don't care.
Tapper right back to him. Oh, nice play. Couldn't get the glove around to field a backhand, but made that play nicely and gets Jeffers. Yeah, he deserved a smile. It's okay. It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Sweeper, such a good pitch and gets such a tough hop. When you have a wingspan like that, yeah, it's hard to get those feathers in. Able to do it. Hasn't been on the mound a bunch in the last 9 days, much less PFPs.
It almost looked like he wanted to go behind the back and then realized, no, I don't need to do that, but I can't get my glove around to get a backhand, so I'm just going to field it with my thumb up. It worked.
Well, one thing it's really hard to do is the distance. Anytime a ball's hit back at you, you can't tell if it's a rocket or not. And so your first instinct, if you don't know, is to act like it was a rocket.
Yeah.
And then you adjust accordingly. I'm sure there's a lot of weird videos out there of pitchers freaking out on balls not hit very hard at them.
Trying to matrix out of the way. We got 2-0 on Carlos Santana. Yeah, that's fouled off of Contreras' mask. That rattled the cage. Fresh set of baseballs.
Yeah, Charlie Ramos trying to give some time for Contreras. I mean, we heard that up here just as loud as it was down there.
2-1 on Santana. Santana, as the Brewers know, over the last 2 months of last season, he does not chase. Alcala, now Griffin Jax has joined him. 3-1 pitch. And he walked him. So a 2-out walk. First base runner for the Twins since the 4th inning. And now a quick word from Rally House.
Shop Rally House for the best selection of team gear and local gifts. From the most popular styles to the hottest trends, there's something for every fan at Rally House.
Ryan Hudson will face a pinch hitter. Manuel Margot is going to come off the bench and hit for Matt Wallner. Contreras out to go over the scouting report.
Kind of interesting we didn't see Chris Hook come out there just to kind of, I feel like that's the MO, walk out there right at that moment. But either way, you put a plan together with your catcher and you run with it. It's an easy call. Bring Wallner in, the lefty, and put in Margot, the right-hander. Not sure that has mattered much to Brian Hudson, though, lefty or righty.
He's been equally filthy. The hitters of both sides of the plate. And he runs that one in, so he's lost his command after getting 2 quick outs from Kepler and Jeffers. Walks Santana, now Margot 1-0. There's a strike. Cutter at the bottom of the zone. Now the bottom of the zone is open for business.
Somebody found the key. Gave it. Now everyone knows it.
Keys to the batter's box. Box of curveballs. Key to the bottom of the zone.
The broken bat to be named later. All of it.
There's strike 2. And it is open for business. Faux show.
See, that's the thing that sometimes gets overlooked is as soon as the strike zone changes, everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Both dugouts know about it. Catchers are talking about it.
Happened last inning.
Yeah.
To center field for Garrett Mitchell. Another scoreless inning for Brian Hudson. A 2-out walk, no big deal. We go to the 8th in Minneapolis. 1-0.
Tonight's tavern of the game winner is Brat Stop in Kenosha. If the tavern calls the Milwaukee Brewers by 10 a.m. tomorrow, they will receive 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer is courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
41,679, the largest regular season crowd in Twins franchise history in this ballpark as Jorge Alcala takes over. He has been lights out, and he's got his velocity up over 100 now.
Yeah, the 6'3", 28-year-old Dominican, he can bump it up there, sitting 98 miles an hour in the four-seam, also throws slider, changeup, and sinker. But he's doubled his four-seam usage since last season.
So Manuel Margot take over in left field for Wallner. He pinch hit for and lined out to end the seventh. Joey Ortiz, Jackson Chourio to follow. 96 for ball two.
Yeah, bring up that four-seam fastball because it's the second lowest batting average allowed on that thing. Hitter's just hitting .098 against it.
Told you it was a good crowd. Look at that place, huh?
Wow.
Got some fans from Red Cliff, Wisconsin, Brew Crew faithful. We have some dirt in the eye of the catcher, Ryan Jeffers, so get some eye drops out. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, the expression "rub dirt on it" wouldn't apply in this situation.
This is the anti-rub dirt on it.
Yeah, take dirt out of it. That happens. I mean, especially when they put all the cat litter on after it rained a little bit. They got to sprinkle it in there.
Yep.
Ball hits that dirt, it shoots little tiny rockets.
Shrapnel everywhere.
A lot of guys, remember, used to have that plexiglass when the hockey helmet became popular.
Ooh, look out. And that one somehow missed Joey Ortiz. Slider that didn't slide. And that is 3-1. Just getting warmed up. 98.
That's just get me over 98.
So hard to hit. I still don't understand how these guys do it. So good.
Maybe you can add any kind of movement on that. Makes it even that much more difficult.
Fouled off with Jeffers. Alcala was bouncing off the mound as if that ball was in play. It's right off your catcher's mask. So he's got shrapnel to the eye with the dirt, and then that one off his mask. Tough batter, Stephen Oker. Fouled again, just to our right. Ooh. Ricochet just below the Brewers executive suite. 3-2. Ortiz into left center. Check it on Margot for out number one. Jackson Chourio's coming up. Check out our T-Mobile coverage cam. That's the only RBI of the ball game. It came in the third inning. First pitch he saw from Pablo Lopez.
Wasting no time, gets a fastball in, and this is what Jackson Chourio's been doing a lot this season, especially of late. He's turning an inside fastball into a single the opposite field. I think right around the time he started coming out early with Willie Adames, William Contreras, in early batting practice. This is something they work on.
Here's the pitch, and it is down and away on Jackson Chourio. Alcala fell behind Ortiz 3-0 before finally coming back and getting him. And a bullet to left. Just squared up 98 for his second hit of the night.
Well, Well, he got a good look at the second fastball after 2 fastballs missed away. Fastball up and in. Just kind of trust your hands. This is what they always talk about, trusting your hands. You trust the fastball is going to be there and you just do your swing. Get the knob through and just get the barrel somewhere. But turning around 98, impressive.
Very, very impressive. Here's Bryce Terang trying to move Chourio around. See if he tries to run at some point. That's a ground ball, a fair ball. Tap of the bag by Santana gets the out on Terang, but Chourio into scoring position.
Well, here's Terang. You saw Chourio get 3 fastballs. What's he get? Slider down and in, rolls over. Probably could have been a foul ball, who knows, but Santana smothers it. Saw him do this a lot for a couple of months with the Brewers last year.
2-out RBI opportunity for Contreras. He was one of the best in the game for the first 2 months of the season in this situation. It has cooled significantly in the last 6 weeks.
And how about good against fastballs as well?
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see a guy with really high velocity and Contreras is in there, I'm thinking, is this guy going to go with his strengths, or is he going to kind of say, no, here's some off speed?
He's going right after him. It's 2-0 though. Big run at second base for the Brewers in the 8th. Generous ball call. 3-0. Zone has been tight for the most part, and it's now working down in the zone. 3-0 taking all the way.
Well, with Okert hot and ready, the lefty down in the bullpen, you got to wonder, is he going to for sure face Yelich if Contreras can get on?
Ground ball to short. May not have to find out. Castro able to get him. A good scoop from Santana. And the inning is over. The Brewers leave a man in scoring position. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Shut the door. Thanks, Waddy. Appreciate you. Brian Hudson going out there for the 8th. Elvis Peguero starting to get loose. We got a pinch hitter, Austin Martin, to lead it off. Hitting for Edward Julian, the number 9 spot. So Austin Martin takes back to the backstop. Ball 1. Rocco Baldelli loves the splits, the lefty-righty splits.
There's a lot of managers that do.
And Martin yanks one foul.
I mean, to gain any kind of edge, especially in a one-run ball game this late into the ball game. Austin Martin was reinstated from the 10-day IL today. He missed 8 games with that right oblique strain. For a big moment in the game, Baldelli wasting no time, run him out there.
Into left center, Garrett Mitchell giving it a run. Heels on the track. One away. Gave 41,000 plus a good scare. One gone for Willie Castro. 20th time this year, 34 appearances for Brian Hudson, that he's going multiple innings.
There's several guys in the bullpen that can go multiple innings, and they've had to with the way the starting pitching injuries had happened early on in the season and throughout.
Got a few guys back there now. You got Hudson, of course, but Bryce Wilson, Jacob Junis,
Jinx,
Omia Coke. There's liner into left center, a base hit. Castro's going to have at least a base hit. Churio gets it in and bobbles it. Castro's at second base, representing the tying run. Churio is thinking about making a throw to second base. We'll never know.
comes up with it cleanly. I think just the transfer, maybe the ball's a little wet. Slips right over his right shoulder. That's a pretty common thing, especially with pitchers to scream into the glove.
Yeah, get another pinch hitter for the number 2 hitter, Trevor Larnach. We're going to get Diego Castillo coming off the bench, a former Pirate. He will hit against Brian Hudson. That was the first hit allowed to a righty on a Hudson sweeper all season.
As soon as we came in, I couldn't stop talking about that sweeper. That's how good it is. And very lightly touched all season.
Ruled out a double to Willie Castro, and for Hudson, that's going to be it. Wanted to see whether or not Rocco Baldelli would go to the right-hander. The Brewers had Elvis Peguero ready to go, and that's who will get the call. An inning and a third from Brian Hudson. He's responsible for the runner at second base. Hudson's day is done. 1-0 tying run at second base in Minnesota. reminder, you can stream Brewers baseball all season long on the Bally Sports app. Now Brian Hudson got the first down of the inning, and then Castro with a double on the sweeper. Inning and a third for Hudson. Couple of base runners. And the Brewers will bring in right-hander Elvis Peguero. 38th appearance for him, and inherits a runner.
First time in a week for Elvis Peguero. Pitched against in the Washington series. Went an inning and a third. Struck out one, walked a couple.
And opens up first pitch strike on Diego Castillo, pinch hitting for Trevor Larnach.
Peguero hasn't done particularly well coming in with runners on base. He's allowed 9 of 15. But when he's rested, he's been really good.
It's low. Eight of his first 10 scored against him in terms of inherited runners. Only 1 of the last 5. Trying to make it 1 out of 6. Ground ball foul outside of third. Quick 1-2 on that super sinker from Peguero.
97, tons of movement down in the zone. Pair that with a hard slider, 90, 92, down and away. That's what it is, though, the 50-50. Flip the coin, you better guess right.
That gets away from Contreras. He can't find it. Over to third goes Castro, and that changed the complexion of this inning dramatically.
We've seen a lot of balls skipped. We saw Freddie have a couple of balls in the dirt, but this is tough to have happen late into a ball game. And the reason it changes the complexion is, what are you going to do with this hitter? The hitter's decided, okay, well, now I have a job I can do. Where does the infield play?
Bob Zastrisny cranking it up. Peguero's got to face at least 3 batters. Brewers will play the infield in. Tying run at third base with only 1 out. Pop up or a punch out would be great. Ground ball, and an infielder's good too. Good speed at third base. 2-2. Ground ball to second. They're coming home. The play. Safe is the call. Throw is on the first base side of foul territory. They are going to look at it. The Brewers did not, it seemed, have any communication with their video department, but they got to take a look at it. Throw pulled Contreras a bit.
Milwaukee is challenging the safe call at home plate.
That's where that wild pitch comes into play big time.
Exactly. Then a routine grounder that would give you 2 outs and a man on third. Suddenly this game could be tied, but Drink played it perfectly. The throw a little bit on home plate instead of in front of it. That was a very quick tag by Contreras, though.
Not a decisive look. This might be a good one. That angle looks like he's got his oven mitt on the plate as the tag is coming in on the elbow. That's where the contact play is huge, especially when you got speed at third base.
Well, one thing we know, they review all relevant angles and do their best to get it right. That's why they've implemented all this. Leave nothing to chance.
I got a hard time thinking they're going to overturn this. Folks back in New York taking a listen. And that throw again being in the left-handed batter's box. Essentially the key. With the speed of Castro, no margin for error. And we're going to get the call.
After review, the call is confirmed. The runner is safe. Milwaukee loses.
So the hustle double, the wild pitch, and then an infield fielder's choice ties the game. Just didn't get that hand on the front of the plate.
I mean, all the right moves were put in place. Baudelli puts out a righty to face the lefty. Brewers bring in the righty. But it was the wild pitch from Peguero, his 5th on the season, that kind of set the whole thing in motion on its head.
Now you got to deal with Buxton. And for Peguero, now you need that ground ball. Get out of this inning. Game that belongs to the bullpens. Both starters, non-factors. Down to the wire in Minneapolis. There's a strike.
Buxton has the speed. It's going to be a tough double play, but Peguero's got 8 on the season already.
Struck him out. Good slider down and away. That's the 2nd out of the inning. It's so frustrating because if you just make a better throw to the plate, inning's over.
Well, if you don't have the wild pitch and then you get the ground ball, essentially that'd been a strikeout with 2 outs and a man on third. The inning's over.
Brooks Lee 0 for 3. Good for Peguero to just get right back to Buxton, strike him out. Quick flush of the mechanism. Serve foul. It's 0-2.
Well, we've seen the Brewers do this to so many teams, that kind of pressure. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, the Twins are right there with the Brewers. The only reason they're in 2nd place is the Guardians refuse to lose ever. These are 2 really good ball clubs.
0-2 to Lee. Let it go. Low strike not there that time for Peguero.
Wonder if he goes back to it. I mean, he didn't miss by much. And you can tell Lee just kind of gave up on it at the bottom of the zone.
Tapper just past the mound. Tough play. Ortiz puts it in his pocket. Infield single for Brooks Lee. As soon as that ball got by Peguero, is going to be a problem. You may see Pat Murphy come out and make a move with Kepler. And Zastryzny ready, and here comes Murph. So Peguero faces 3 hitters. For all intents and purposes, did his job. The wild pitch was key. Peguero's coming out. Zastryzny's coming in to face Kepler with the go-ahead run in scoring position for Minnesota. Well, the Brewers have a tie ball game on their hands. Bottom of the 8th inning. And Rob Zastryzny on for the 7th time. He's been outstanding in a Brewers uniform. He's got one guy to get. That's Max Kepler.
Yeah, here's a guy that hasn't given up a run. How about he hasn't given up a hit? He's faced even lefties and righties. Got them all out. What's interesting about him is he's kind of no nonsense. Comes right at you. Cutter, four-seam sweeper.
Now here's Kepler. Runner at second. Diego Castillo. Go ahead run. First pitch, ball 1. Now 2-0.
Come out of the bullpen, a lot of times you go with your best secondary pitch, or you just try to go a little bit out of the zone to see if the guy's a little antsy with runners on base.
Got to come back. 2-0. Yeah, Kepler had a good one to hit, fouled it away. Kepler's never faced Zastryzny. The only player on this roster that he has faced is Manuel Margot. To right center, back goes Mitchell. He's got a beat on it. The inning is over. Off the end just enough. The Twins tie it in the bottom of the 8th. Brewers with Yelich, Adames, and Frelick scheduled in the 9th. Well, a trio of Brewers pitchers gets through the 8th inning, allowing just the 1 run. And Christian Yelich will be the first man to face Griffin Jax out of the Twins bullpen. Right-hander having another great year. He's transformed himself into one of the great setup men in baseball after starting his career in the rotation.
29 years old. He was a 3rd rounder for the Twins back in 2016. This guy's a ground ballsman. He's a caseman. He is coming right at you. Sweeper, four-seam fastball, changeup, sinker, curveball. All he's trying to do is strike you out. He has sprinkled those across all those pitches. We talked about Alcala, the 2nd lowest batting average on a four-seam fastball. How about Griffin Jax? Has the 9th. Batter's only hitting 114 against it.
You got a good bullpen to lead to Duran. Here's Yelich. First pitch, back to the backstop. So Austin Martin taking over at second base for Minnesota. 9 total hits, 2 total runs. Heater in. 2-0. Yoel Payamp starting to get ready for the Brewers. Sweeper on 2-0 to Yelich.
He throws that sweeper more than anything else. Likes to sit at the top of the zone.
That is a ground ball to first base. And Santana takes it. One away, and now a quick word from Wisconsin Dells.
Wondering what makes Wisconsin Dells the perfect summer getaway? Let's find out. Let's splash. Let's play. Wisconsin Dells. Let's make this the best vacation ever.
Willie Adames will hit against Griffin Jacks in a impromptu meeting at the mound with Jeffers and Jacks. Adames 2 for his last 2.
I think Jeffers just wants to give him a breather. He ran all the way to first and back. Probably walked back. But when you're going to the heart of the order, you want to be ready. You want to be prepared. 3, 4, 5 got through Yelich. Here's Adames. Frelick on deck.
5th time that Adames is facing Jacks. He's 0 for 4. Two and 0. Started Yelich 2-0. See what Adames gets. Heater 2-1. Not a lot of scoring chances for either team in this ball game. Ground ball right side. Austin Martin fresh into the ball game, throws him out. Brewers are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Churio base hit back in the 3rd. Twins are 0 for 4. Got their run on an RBI fielder's choice. Here's Sal Frelick. Ball 1.
Interesting. He starts Yelich off with a sweeper up. Now Frelick lefties. Maybe that's kind of what he does. Sweeper first pitch, and Adames was heater up. All fastballs to him.
2-0 again. 3 straight 2-0 counts. Hasn't made a big difference for Jacks. Former serviceman of the Air Force Academy. Brewers saw Paul Skeens also from the Air Force Academy before he transferred to LSU. Two and 2 on Frelick.
Frelick's able to reach here. Rhys Hoskins on deck. After Adames grounded out and he came back, him and Hoskins were talking right by the on-deck circle. And Adames was doing his hand about the two-seamer. It looked like, hey, he's got a two-seamer. It's got some movement.
And catcher's interference. He knocked the glove clean off of Jeffers' hand. Frelick leads the league in catcher's interference.
I mean, you still have a chance. Just because the ball is by you doesn't mean you still can't swing and make contact. He was the one that had that catcher's interference double, didn't he? And they took the double on the field rather than.
Absolutely right. Sal Frelick saying, yep, I got him. Well, yeah, clearly his glove is in the on-deck circle.
Are you sure? Do we need to review that one or just go pick up your glove? Well, catcher's interference calls have skyrocketed in the last few years. They've already reached more than they did last season across all of Major League Baseball.
It's the 3rd accepted catcher's interference for Sal Frelick. He could have 4. Instead, he took a base hit down the left field line on the last homestand. Pete Mackey, the pitching coach, out to chat. And we'll see how that scouting report from Willie Adames was for Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see some of the players talking. It's a right-hander. talking to a right-hander about this is what it looks like. They can categorize very easily, and you can turn what you saw at your at-bat, successful or not, transfer that to the next guy.
A go-ahead run standing at first base for the Brewers. Jack's not overly quick to the plate. Not so concerned with the runner over at first, who gets an extra step. And a toss that way. Got him. He was looking to run. And Sal Frelick, who has now been picked off and caught stealing in the same game. The Brewers do not have a challenge. You can ask for a crew chief review, and they won't ask. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a 1-1 game. The Brewers had an opportunity. Good play by Jax, better tag by Santana.
It's good to be back in business. Feels good to get back to work. There's something I need to finish. Put on your helmets, baby, I'm back. Oh, it's good to be back.
Yoel Piamps on for the Brewers. Bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Jeffers, first man to face him, takes his slider on the front door for strike one. Piamps, a 4.41 ERA. He's had a much more difficult year two than he had in year one.
Yeah, his 41st appearance.
Ground ball to third. Nice back pick. Joey Ortiz, one away.
That's one thing Piamps can do, though. He comes in, and when he's on, he's throwing innings in less than 10 pitches. Goes slider, first pitch, sinker, and suddenly has an out. That's what he's going to do. Slider, four-seam, sinker, and changeup. And during an at-bat, he can throw all three.
Yohan Duran getting ready for a potential 10th inning. Santana rolls one to first base. 2 up, 2 down on just 3 pitches from Piamps. Manuel Margot came in to pinch hit and stayed in to play left field. Last chance in this 9th inning for Minnesota. Last time they had a home game, it was a walk-off homer by Christian Vasquez off of Josh Hader in this building. Margot takes ball 1. Should this game get into the 10th, Hoskins, Mitchell, and Ortiz, the scheduled hitters. 2-0. Swing, 2-1. Poke down the right field line. That is trouble. It's a fair ball. Margot digging for 2. Frelick's throw is going to be late. Winning run in scoring position. Dying Quail down the right field line.
I think now we're seeing why the Twins are leading all of baseball in doubles. The second one of the ball game for them. It's about putting the ball in play nowadays, and exactly what Margot did. I was surprised he actually went for second base. I thought Frelick was able to get there quick enough, but I think Margot just kind of knocked it up a different gear once he was past first base.
Austin Martin pinch hit in the 8th, flying to deep center. A chance to win the game for the Twins in the 9th. Takes strike 1. '48th big league game. Swing and a miss. Good slider. It's 0-2. Payamps trying to get this thing into the 10th in the Twin Cities. And Martin will call timeout.
Well, if nothing else, I mean, the Brewers using this many pitchers in the first game back after an all-star break, it can actually kind of help the games that come after.
Wide again.
And what I mean is, next time the situation comes up, say tomorrow or the next day, these guys haven't, it hasn't been 7, it hadn't been 10 days, hadn't been 11 days. These guys have been, you know, have a recent outing.
Swing and a miss. Payamps gets him, and we will go to the 10th. Scoreless inning from Yoel Payamps. Brewers get Duran on the other side. Tenth inning is here. Rhys Hoskins will be the first man to hit with a runner at second base. Sal Frelick will be that place runner. They get Yoan Duran. 15 saves for him, an ERA just under 3. One of the hardest throwers in baseball.
Absolutely. And how about he gets ground balls at a clip well above league average, up around 60%. League average is 42%. So even if he's not striking you out, he's getting a weak ball on the ground. See the extra runner being placed at second base. Duran is not allowed the placed runner to score in 2 other chances.
Certainly improved from a year ago where he allowed that place runner to score 7 of 11 times. Now Rhys Hoskins, his job, try and drive in Sal Frelick at the worst, move him over. The Brewers have Jake Bauers in the on-deck circle. And right now it's Hoskins. Brewers haven't scored since the 3rd. Oh, look out, up and in with that breaking ball right out of the gate.
Well, it's going to be four-seam fastball, his split finger fastball, and that curveball we just saw at the top of the zone.
And that one's high. Curveball slipping out of his hands twice. On the ground at third. And Santana picks it clean. One gone. That was the splitter at 97.
I mean, just call it the splinker, like everyone else has been doing, it seems. I mean, it's movement. It's still 97 miles an hour. And he feels confident throwing at the meat of the zone.
That's what he gets a lot of his ground balls with. We'll see another visit to the mound from Jeffers to chat about Bauers, who's pinch hitting. And Bauers has been a very good pinch hitter for the Brewers this season.
We saw a clip in the dugout showing Bauers talking with hitting coaches. He had charts in front of him. I think he was getting ready for this moment, probably already been to the batting cage, and has put his plan, his best plan, against the Twins closer, and then that's why you have a meeting at the mound to put their plan together against Bauers.
He is 3 for 11 as a pinch hitter this year. And now he gets to face Duran. Not an easy task. Last gave up an earned run on June 21st. Down the left field line. That is foul. Bauers knew it as soon as he hit it. It wasn't going to stay fair. There's Trevor McGill cranking it up. Bottom of the 10th features the top of the order for Minnesota. The goal always for these visiting teams, don't just be complacent with one run. Try and get a couple, knowing that the home team gets one crack to at least match you. It's down and in. 101. They're just getting heated up.
I think one of the best explanations I heard when this was implemented in the minor leagues, first to see how it would go, and you start talking about the game plan, I think it is you have to score it. You have to get that run in when you're on the road. You have to.
Swing and a miss. 102 on the inner part of the plate. Got him. That's a curveball down and in there, saying foul ball, but it was caught by Jeffers. And now it's up to Joey Ortiz. And Frelick is yet to move from second base. They're checking on the backswing too. Yeah, backswing made contact with the helmet, so play was dead immediately. Saw that back in the Tampa Bay series. Remember, ball got away from the catcher, but the backswing caught the catcher, stopped play.
Yeah, just a tough situation. You're geared up for 100. You get a nasty hook in the dirt.
Ortiz down the right field line, foul.
We know Ortiz has some oppo pop. Get the barrel to it, quick swing.
.103 on his hands. Look at the action on it, too.
Yeah, just get your foot down as quickly as possible.
Two strikes, 2 outs on Joey Ortiz. One and 2. Great stab by Jeffers. They checked the swing. He didn't go.
Tried to pull that same trick he did on Bowers. Here's triple digits. Here's triple digits. One more triple digit, and then a nasty hook.
See where he goes. Got him looking. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Brewers will try and hold serve. Trevor McGill coming in from Milwaukee. The Twins will have the top of the order scheduled in a 1-1 game, the bottom of the 10th inning. Trevor McGill is coming in this extra frame, a 2.05 ERA in that first half of the season, 32 games, 18 saves. Right now he's trying to save this game and take it into the 11th.
He's been good. We've talked about Bryce Terang, could have been, should have been an all-star. Brian Hudson, this guy as well, taking over that closer role. Not asked to do that in this ball game. He does have that ghost runner at second. You're going to see triple digits as well on that four-seam fastball, and then pair that with the knuckle curveball.
Brewers make some changes defensively. Blake Perkins comes in to play center field, and Jake Bowers stays in after he pinch hit. He remains at first base. Austin Martin will be the placed runner at second. Made the final out of the 9th. He's got good speed. And Willie Castro is coming to the plate for Minnesota. It was Castro who scored the tying run in the 8th inning. A ground ball to second base. Brewers expecting a bunt. Castro swinging away. Fly ball center field. Perkins is right there. Makes the catch. 1 out on 1 pitch. Well, the Brewers are crashing, expecting a bunt. Castro put it in play. That's a massive first out.
I mean, it's a thank you as well. I mean, if you bunt right there, does the guy get the third? Who knows? But you swing away, one pitch, one out. And how about Martin on the base pass at second? Kind of slipped up. Not that he could have gotten the third, but who knows if he would have tried to risk it.
Here's Castillo. He drove in the only run for the Twins as a pinch hitter and takes strike one. Not a lot of big league time the last couple of years for Diego Castillo. Just his second game this year. Takes strike two. Played in just one game and had one at bat last year with the Diamondbacks. 11 homers in 96 games with the Pirates in 22. He's in an 0-2 hole. Got him. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. 3 heaters, and that's the second out.
That's impressive. This is what you call pulling down. Get on top of it and pull the finger straight down. Give the illusion that fastball is probably not going to make it to the plate in time, and paints at the bottom of the zone.
Now it's Buxton. Winning run at second. Curveball in the dirt. 1-0. Saw how big a wild pitch could be in this game. Allowed the Twins to score in the 8th.
We got to think Contreras is willing to just stick whatever at this point to knock it down, keep it in front.
High and tight at 100. Remember, the Brewers got McGill from the Twins. Originally with the Cubs, then the Twins. Now a Brewer. He's been incredible, and they're just going to put Buxton on base to face Brooks Lee. 2-0, no reason to gamble with Buxton.
Well, it's like pressing the reset button. It's not going your way. Just click it and move on. Hopefully you can take advantage of maybe a little inexperience from Lee. Hopefully can dial in that fastball and the curve.
1 for 4 for Lee. And takes ball 1. Lee with a base hit on the infield in the 8th. Takes a deep breath. Playing in just his 12th big league game. Ground ball first base. That's a fair ball. Bowers stays down, and we will go to the 11th. Good job by Trevor McGill. Jackson Churriel will be due up first when we get to the 11th. Look at those line scores. A run on 5 hits for both teams as we go to the 11th. And number 11 to lead it off for the Brewers. It seems like a good omen. Cole Sands is the pitcher out of the bullpen for Minnesota.
Yeah, 2018 fifth rounder for Minnesota. This guy just tries to strike out the world. Cutter, four-seam fastball, curveball, split, sinker. Everything kind of evenly distributed as Joey Ortiz takes second base. Nicole Sands for him, last 9 games. He has not allowed an earned run in 10 innings.
We'll see if the Brewers can get at least one. Jackson Churrio's driven in the only run of the game for the Brewers. They came all the way back in the 3rd. He's 2 for 3 today, and Pat Murphy bringing over Bryce Terang. Have a chat and see what Jackson Churrio does in this initial AB. Santana's in on the grass at first, I should say. Lee creeping in now, and a wheel back to second base to see if Churrio would show his hand and see what he was going to do at the plate. He's been so good at hitting the ball the other way. I didn't think that they would try and bunt him, but you never know. He pops up the first pitch. Shallow left. Castro makes the catch. Not a productive at-bat from Jackson Churrio. A fastball that may have hit him if he didn't swing.
And going after the first pitch, exactly like Castro did in the 10th. Now you wonder what Pat Murphy said to Bryce Terang before he walked up to the plate.
Well, he's 0 for 4 today. The top 3 hitters in the order for the Brewers are 0 for 12. There's 96 from Sands.
I don't think it can be too tough on either offense, is not seeing a lot of live pitching right over the last week.
That one gets away from Jeffers over to third, goes Ortiz. Well, see if the Brewers can take advantage of a wild pitch with less than 2 outs.
Spiking curveballs. Bryce Terang just trying to get his toes out of the way.
Infield is in for Minnesota. It's 2-1 on Terang. Outfield arms, Buxton above average in center, Kepler above average in right, Margot below average in left. Ground ball to second. They're coming home. The throw to the plate. Late. A double clutch from Martin at second base. The Brewers have taken the lead. Twins did it in the 8th, and the Brewers score on the exact same play.
Scary images of those plays. Terang sees a pitch he can handle, but scorches it into the ground. Martin, who's entered the ball game, tries to get Ortiz. How about Ortiz balancing on his neck after he slides in safe? You know, he missed time on the IL with that stiff neck, inflammation in the neck.
And Contreras trying to give the Brewers a couple with one swing.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, that was a heck of a slide. Did you see the tag, by the way, from Jeffers? He had the baseball in his bare hand and was tagging with an empty glove. See if Terang tries to go. Toss to first, he's back.
Hopefully the umpire saw that too.
No kidding. Ball in his hand, safe all the way. And time called by Contreras. Interesting call for Pat Murphy. Do you bring Trevor McGill out for another inning of work? It was just a 6th pitch, 10th. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss.
I mean, I don't see why not. He looked good. Yes, just 6 pitches. He wouldn't be going for a save, though. Be going for the win.
Hasn't had a lot of multi-inning appearances. And there's Jacob Junis, who's moving around. Terang is yet to try and go. The 0-2 rolled foul on the split. Left-hander Steven Okert is getting ready. That may be for Yelich, who's on deck. We'll see. Contreras is trying to go to right, fouled it away.
Okert's already been up and ready for Yelich previously in the ball game and sat back down. I think we've seen multiple players get up, get hot, and have to sit back down.
Contreras out to right. Kepler back. It's over his head and off the wall. Terang headed into third. Contreras with a long single there on the corners. He has reached out and flicked his hands at it and went out to the wall.
What an 0-2 cutter. These Twins getting hurt in 0-2 counts. Contreras finishes high with that bat. Keeps it on the ball long enough to shoot it out to the gap. If Terang was running on contact, he probably would have made it all the way around, but he had to play it safe.
They're on the corners for Yelich. He'll face Steven Okert on the other side of this timeout. Rocco Baldelli going to the bullpen again. Brewers looking for multiple runs in the 11th. There's Christian Yelich. The Brewers leading it 2-1. A runner at third with amazing speed in Bryce Terang. And he'll face Steven Okert. 34th appearance for him. Lefty specialist.
He's been around a while, 33 years old. And this guy's slippery. He's tough to barrel up. Features a slider, four-seam fastball, sinker, changeup. This guy's been doing really well, missing barrels all season long.
Infield comes up for Yelich. He's faced Okert once, walked against him. And he takes a high strike. Terang, Contreras, the runners. Looking for multiple runs in the 11th. Squares to bunt. He takes it with him. The Brewers will get another run as Yelich drops an RBI bunt down. He's been known to do it from time to time, but when the moment is right, and he chose right this time.
You just gotta smile and laugh watching Yelich. I mean, he just surprises everybody. Okert doesn't know what to do. Did not see that coming. The old Jake Taylor approach. They need a run. Why not? We need two. You can see Quentin Berry just singing praises on Yelich as he's running down the line. What a heads-up play.
They're going to walk Adames intentionally to bring Frelick to the plate with an open base. So Sal Frelick hits. He's been on base by a walk and a catcher's interference. He is 0 for 1 officially on the day. So 2-run inning, and Frelick swings and misses. Brewers getting runs on an RBI fielder's choice and a sacrifice bunt from Yelich.
Incredible.
There's a strike on Frelick. 1 base hit in the inning. That was Contreras. Manufacturing runs. 0-2. And Frelick hits one into center field. Coming in is Buxton. And the inning ends. The Brewers get a couple of runs playing small ball. Try and hold a 2-run lead when we come back to Minnesota. Christian Yelich driving in a huge second run in that 11th inning with a squeeze bunt. 3-1, and now Jacob Junis tries to pick up his second save of the season. Will inherit a runner at second base to face the middle of this Twins order.
He's going to do it with a slider in his pocket. He throws 44% of the time, mixes in sinker, changeup, four seam, even a cutter. But for Junis, he's been doing a lot of multiple innings on the mound for the Brewers. Only has to get 3 outs here. Since coming off the IL, though, he's got a win for the Brewers. He's got a save for the Brewers. And how about just 3 walks to 12 strikeouts? He's been good.
There's Brooks Lee, and one of the guys that he has seen the most on this roster is the first guy he'll face, Max Kepler, all those years in Kansas City. Kepler 9 for 26 lifetime against Junis. Jeffers to follow, and then Carlos Santana's scheduled. Santana's seen him 20 times. He might have the best numbers against him other than Carlos Correa, who's on the injured list. So we had a Rosenbach go out, and now the home plate umpire comes over and says, nope, this one is not going to stay in.
Ejected the Rosenbach?
Yes, he did.
He'd seen enough.
He didn't Philip Wellman it, but he just tossed it out. If you get that reference, awesome. If you don't, Google it. Here's Kepler, and he takes a slider inside, ball 1. Kepler, left field. Churiel was playing on the warning track. Makes the catch. 1 away. No advance from Lee.
Slider sinker combo. And how about every situation that each team has come up with, the first batter has hit the ball to the left side, unable to get the runner from second to third. That's almost best case scenario. You enter a ball game in this kind of situation, you want a guy to hit a ball to that left side, shortstop, third, left field.
Jeffers takes strike 1. Jeffers 0 for 4. Slider away. 1-1 on Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers, right field for Sal Frelick. Tagging at second. Lee stops. 2 away.
It's a great job by Sal Frelick getting behind it and getting that ball in. Lee did not feel comfortable trying to push the envelope on that one.
Job not done yet. Got to deal with Carlos Santana. 8 out of 20 lifetime against Junis, including a homer. Always dangerous. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. And takes strike 1 with a changeup on the inside corner. A lot of Brewers fans up in the Twin Cities this weekend. Trying to sneak away with a win after they were up 1-0 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Twins got one on a ground ball to second base. Close play at the plate. Brewers got the go-ahead run in the 11th on a very similar play. And it's 2-1 on Santana. There's a strike. 2-2. The Brewers a strike away.
Such a good slider from June, especially against lefties. They see it, they think they have a chance, and when that starts that movement, especially down and in, I think Santana's seen enough of those that if he swings, he knows that's a ground ball to first.
2-2. Fly ball to deep right, and we are going to be tied. Wow. A strike away from winning the ball game, and Santana says, not right now.
Two fastball inside, inner third to Santana. That's why he spit on the slider. He knew if he swung at it, it was going to be a ground ball out. Gets the fastball, does not miss it, deposits out on the deck and right. We've seen this before against the Brewers from Santana.
Yeah, that was almost to the Allegheny River as a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's his 14th home run of the year. Now Margot. Ball and a strike, so back to even 3-3. And still a chance to get this thing to the 12th if you're Junis. The Brewers fans were up, now they are sitting. It's Twins fans that are standing in the ballpark. Margot swings and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Back and forth with these clubs. You score, we score.
Tapper foul. First home run of the game, and it came with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the bottom of the 11th inning. 2-2. Fouled away again. Junis, the 6th man out of the bullpen for Milwaukee. Rocco Baldelli has used just 4 out of the pen. Margot yanks it foul. Got him. On we go to the 12th. 3-3 in Minnesota. play on. 3-3 game. Brewers will have Blake Perkins coming to the plate first against Stephen Okert, who stays in the ball game. Perkins hitting in Rhys Hoskins' spot. Perkins came into play in center field. In the 10th inning, Sal Frelick will be the automatic runner for a second time in extra innings. Didn't move in the 10th. He'll be ready to go in the 12th. Jeffers was in the dugout. Now he's out, and we'll see how the Brewers play it in the 12th. Corners playing up for Minnesota, expecting a bunt from Perkins.
They know Perkins is a pretty good bunter. He's been doing it pretty much all season long.
And he takes strike one, did not show. The Brewers have one of their long guys in the ball game in Junis, so he can go multiple innings. Okert can go a few, but they've got the bullpen ready again to the Twins. That's wide. Josh Staumont, the former Royal. Ball and a strike on Perkins. Fouled it back. Showed no signs of trying to lay one down and get Frelick to third, knowing he's got Bowers on deck.
Well, we've seen Perkins work counts. We've seen him barrel up baseballs.
He shoots one foul right side.
He's really come on strong from the right side. I think early on he didn't face a lot of lefties. He was only out there strictly when righties were throwing. Got a lot of playing time while Yelich was on the IL, and lately he's been hitting lefties.
Ground ball hit to short. Frelick has to go back. Perkins beat it out with the speed. It's an infield single for Blake Perkins, never taking anything for granted. Smart base running by Frelick not to run into anything, too, with the ball in front of him.
Yeah, just a little dribble, but took off. I feel like Castro kind of slow played it, trying to get behind it. He should have charged big time, but I think he was just playing it safe. Because to him, the runner that's the most important is Frelick at second.
There's Bowers. He squares, pops up a bunt. It falls. Okert touches it in fair territory, and Bowers wasn't running. Now he's safe at first. Oh, what a mistake by Stephen Okert. That ball would have gone foul if he doesn't touch it. Instead, he makes contact, and the Brewers get the bases loaded.
Incredible. I mean, in so many ways, you're wondering what happened. I mean, Lee hesitated because Okert got such a good jump over there. They're figuring out who's going to catch it in the air, and then when it hits the ground, Okert, your instincts take over. Well, I got to get it out. There's too many people on the base paths.
Going to be a base hit for Bowers. Decided to take off, thankfully. He ends up getting to first base. Bullpen's coming in. Bases are loaded for Joey Ortiz. Chance to break this one open. caps are on in the Twin Cities. Game 1 of this mini 2-game series. And Josh Staumont is on. Went 19 consecutive appearances without giving up a run to begin his Twins tenure. He's been great in a Twins uniform.
Yeah, 5 years in Kansas City, signs as a free agent December. They're glad they called this guy. He battled a left calf strain throughout March and April, starts his season in May. Perfect. June, perfect. Finally gave him a run July 8th. It's been good for this Twins team.
Infield's up for Ortiz. First one misses outside. Ortiz looking for his first hit with the bases loaded this year. He is 0 for 7. Great speed on the bases. Wide. 2-0. Remember what we talked about earlier in the broadcast about that sandstone behind the plate. Ball ricochets off that very firm. If you're Sal Frelick and a ball gets by Jeffers, be careful. To Ortiz. Fly ball right field. It will be foul.
I'm still thinking about that Bowers bunt. I can't.
I think everybody the ballpark is.
I don't think I've seen something like that happen before on the field or up here. Just, it was incredible to watch. It was like a train wreck in slow motion. Bowers ends up getting to first, but I mean, he took 2 hard steps to first and then walked back to home, and then Okert didn't even check him after he slapped the ball foul.
Fly ball left center. Back goes Buxton. He's got a beat on it, makes the catch. Frelick comes down the line to score. Perkins ends up at third. A quality AB from Joey Ortiz.
Great job knowing the situation. Gets in the driver's seat 2-1. Fouls a slider off big time to the right side. Almost goes yard. Gets another slider a little bit lower. Pulls it deep into the gap.
Jackson Chourio hits. Runners on the corners. Infield still up for Minnesota. Chourio takes strike 1. No action in the Brewers bullpen. Remember, Junis, multiple inning guy. 9-1-2 are coming up for the Twins in the bottom of the 12th. Tack on that extra run. Strike 2 on Jackson Chourio. Remember last time he hit, he swung at the first pitch, and it was not an effective at bat. He's taken 2 strikes. Didn't chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you're referring to the top of the 11th inning when he first pitch hit it out to left field, not getting Ortiz over. And that's one of those teachable moments. You've already showed your hand. Okay, I'm going to swing early, and now you're playing the slow card.
Way outside. Jeffers snags it. And luckily, much like the Twins took advantage of it in the 8th inning, a wild pitch got the runner to third with less than 2 outs.
Well, Chourio swings at the first 2 sinkers down. I mean, those are ground balls, easy.
2-2. Line drive, base hit right field. Bauer's going to go from first to third. There's that second run in this 12th inning. Jackson Chourio with 2 strikes delivers. Pat Murphy said it in these pregame scrum. The Brewers are hungry. They're hungry in extra innings.
Biting and clawing. This is what he's referring to. Grinding out, making adjustments. This is the 5th pitch of the at-bat. He took the previous 4 pitches, didn't play his hand, and what he was looking for is something that he could possibly hit into the outfield. And we've seen it before, go inside out on a heater up and in. Grabs him another RBI on the season.
Infield still up for Bryce Terang. Same situation. On the corners, still only 1 out. Toss to first, and Churio's back. Both runs charged to Okert so far. Still on the hook for Bowers at third. Runner goes. No throw. Stolen base for Jackson Churio. Second of the night.
Now 12 stolen bases, couple of knocks, couple of RBIs. Churio having a night.
And 3 hits, 2 RBIs for Churio, 2 steals. Turang takes low. Another good scoop by Jeffers. Three and 0 on Bryce Turang. With the beef coming up for the Brewers. Whoop. 3-0 slider. Just cuz.
He was taken all the way, though. Well, you go with what you feel like you can throw a strike. Saw Byron Buxton swing 3-0. Didn't work out for him.
Turang base hit right field. Bowers is in. Churio's coming around. Here's a throw from Kepler. Late. 2-run single, Bryce Turang. It's a 4-run 12th. And still going.
Brewers just capitalizing. Taking everything they can get. Great at bat by Turang. He saw the previous slider 3-0. If you're going to throw a 3-0, you're going to throw a 3-1. Pulls it through the 4-hole. Getting it done.
We see a Bryce sending Twins fans to the exits. Here's Contreras. He takes high and wide. Hitting the streets of Minneapolis.
They can't all be double parked.
Contreras, big swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Largest regular season crowd in Target Field history. 41,679. And you could feel it.
Yeah.
1-2. Well, 2 in the 11th, 4 in the 12th. Never get complacent. Fouled it away. Last time the Brewers played a 12-inning game was last year in September in New York. Corbin Burns took that no-hitter into the ball game late. Sal Frelick made that crazy catch up against the fence. Runner goes, ground ball, base hit up the middle. Turang scores. Contreras adds another RBI knock to the Brewers ledger in the 12th.
Singles night for the Brewers. How about Turang running? He's either going to get a stolen base or a run scored. Contreras stays on this really high and almost up and out of the zone slider. Just adding on, heaping on. Get all the runs you can.
Ground ball, second base. They go to second, 1 to first. It's a double play. And the inning ends. The Brewers with 5 runs on 5 hits in the inning. 8-3. So we go to the bottom of the 12th. Brewers fans sticking it out. Bottom of the 12th inning. They want to see how this thing finishes. Remember that popped up bunt by Jake Bauers. That was a critical play in that inning. That led to the 5-run waterfall of runs. And Jacob Junis going to try and finish this one out himself. Couldn't convert the save in the bottom of the 11th inning. He'll get another shot. Contreras was out on the bases. Gets a couple of moments to get himself back behind the plate. Manuel Margot will be the runner at second base. And here we go again.
Well, instead of a save this time, get you a W. Not the way you draw it up, but sometimes when you go in extras, everything kind of goes out the window. You just got to get the job done. Brewers put up a nickel in the top of the 12th.
First pitch fouled back, and it buzzed the tower of Willie Castro in the on-deck area. Austin Martin. I want to call him Aston Martin so badly.
I feel like the folks missed a little bit with that one.
So close. It just teases you. Bond, James Bond. Austin Martin. Fly ball into right center, peeling towards Sal Frelick for out number 1. Dropped the ball, but it was on the exchange. Out is called by the first base umpire, and I think the Twins are going to look at it just to double check, but look clean on the exchange, and they're going to look at it. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything to look at it. Again, out was the call on the field.
Well, if nothing else, they're just going to hang the...
Minnesota's challenging the catch.
They're just going to hang Junis out there a little bit to just sit around the mound.
This feels pretty exchangey to me. Secured the catch and then on the exchange, but you never know.
Well, Jace Tingler, the bench coach, he exchanged with their video room, and then the umpires exchange and exchange, and here we are.
Umpires getting together. First base umpire Sean Barber on the call. And deliberating. Jim Wolf, the crew chief.
After review, the call is confirmed. Is a catch. Minnesota loses its challenge.
2 challenges confirmed, not just stands.
Yeah, right.
Confirmed.
Well, I don't think you have successful ball clubs by not trying to take advantage of everything.
For sure.
Even if he knew that that was going to be concluded to be a catch, I think you still access every avenue to be like, let me see if this will give us an edge at the plate.
Yeah, Castro takes low. Well, for Junis, that first out so big. Castro 1 out of 5 today. Double and a run scored. Fouls this one away. 1 ball, 1 strike. A 5-run inning in extra innings, Tim. It hasn't happened for the Brewers in a long time. 2016. Brewers scored 7 times in the 10th inning and beat the Cincinnati Reds 13-7. It's outside, 2-1. Aaron Hill, remember him? Great Brewer.
3-homer game and a grand slam in the 10th.
Yep. Two and 2 on Willie Castro. Not a ton of 3-homer games in Brewers franchise history, but Aaron Hill had one. Win you a couple of drinks at a local tavern. Brewers later traded Aaron Hill to Boston at the trade deadline at 16. Tapper to second base. Terang gets around it. Nice play. 2 away. There was so much going on in that play. The footwork was perfect.
Everything he does out there looks so smooth. I mean, early on in the ball game, they had to give a double on that ground ball because they knew Terang, if anything was not shifty, that he would have made the play. Right there's a tough play coming in on the grass.
Check swing and a strike anyway on a slider to Diego Castillo. It's his third at bat. Drove in a run with a fielder's choice and got called out on strikes in the 10th. And a base hit to center field will bring in that unearned run against Jacob Junis. So don't go anywhere. It's 8-4. And here comes Byron Buxton. Two-out RBI single. Buxton today 0-for-3 with a couple of walks. Buxton to left field. Chourio is there, and he puts a ribbon on this one. Jackson Chourio, 3 hits out of the 9 spot, makes a diving play and puts this one on ice in Minneapolis.
Add a couple of RBIs, a couple of stolen bases. What a game for the Maracaibo kid. Relentless Brewers grinding and clawing this entire ball game. How about Freddie Peralta? Absolutely outstanding on the bump. Ball was hit so well. Byron Buxton saw something he liked early on. Chourio running it down in the gap. Celebrate your teammates. Great job by Jacob Junis knowing the assignment. I mean, all the way around, Brewers playing good. So many days off, putting it together. Freddie Peralta, quality start. He was outstanding. 6 strong, no runs. Defense getting it done. Offense is there. Good win for the crew.
A lot of good stuff going on in the Twin Cities today. Brewers double up the Twins in 12 innings, 8-4. For Tim Dillard, Sophia Minert, and our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying good night from Minnesota. Stick around for Brewers Live. Vinny, Waddy, standing by.